Do I have everybody here?
I am
Yep.
here.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. So, last time on Icewind Dale, I guess I'll reach out to you two, Claw and Fred. Just,
Mhm.
you guys remember where we started last session?
We started. Well, if I recall, we were traveling. Still, deciding where to travel really, because we're still kind of on the outskirts of the Ten Towns.
Mm-hmm.
And then we encountered a whole bunch of methods.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, we already knew that Oral was haunting us, and that she wasn't gonna stop, and she practically had an unlimited army since she could just make it out of snow. Uh, and well, we encountered an unreasonable number of ice methods,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which, um, you know, in and of itself wasn't too bad, but we were starting to feel the pain. So we decided to evacuate as quickly as we could. We went on to, I want to say it was,
East Haven.
yes, yeah, it's Haven.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Um, uh, Once in there, we realized that there was something going on because people were looking at us weird. Um, well, we of course last time we had been here, we kind of had to take the stealthy approach, and this time we just kind of waltzed in. Uh, of course, we knew also that this was the most likely location to find one of Mallow's siblings. In this case, it
Yeah.
was the hex of plague, was it?
Fetid
Fetid
Curse.
Curse.
Fetid
Yes.
Curse, yeah.
Okay. Here, I'm actually going to move this for
Um,
you because, much to your point, yes, it was one of the areas that you did know the hex was active. There's a couple others. We'll just put that up for a second for
yeah.
discussion's sake.
Um, and so once we made it further in and sort of came to find where, well, we were actually just kind of like strolling through town and making it to a place where we could rest and such. And then we got, well, attacked is not exactly the right word since it was Leif that was a little affected mostly.
Nice.
Um,
Nice, he says. I'm actually going to remove the purple circle, by the way, because technically you guys know Serena is no longer there. So
yeah.
put it over at the proper location. But yes, you were
So
correct.
once we knew that there was something afoot and we gathered a little bit more intel on the moment, we ended up fighting the Fetid Curse Hex full on. Uh, we realized that they were more versed in magic than I think the majority of us. And so, regardless, despite the trickery and spell slinging and mind fuckery that happened,
Mm-hmm.
we came out on top, thankfully. Uh, Now, I don't exactly recall whether or not we apprehended him or he got away. Um,
Interesting. Okay, so we will discuss that in a moment then. Fred, is there anything you would like to add?
Mm,
Apparently
we
not
talked to
much goes
Imdra
on then.
and
Hold on one second.
Valim. Yeah, and it was Gemini who came out and just basically
oh yeah.
face fucked Fetid Curse
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
as he was running away from us.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so, correct. So, just to paint a bit more of a picture for you, Leif. I think you were also not here, but for the session before, right? 2 sessions. So Arl had at one point basically come to the party when you guys were about the orange X on the edge of the red waters, and basically said, "Give me the book, the codicil that you guys stole from me. and I'll leave you alone, and leave the 10 towns alone, and everything will be nice. And the party said, ah, fuck you. So she started to attack the party. Party survived that encounter, went off, tried to take a long rest, and like May said, was beset by ice mephits. That's everything he said after that was totally spot on. You guys made it to the 10 towns. You did talk to Indra, which was a little glanced over. The town, the head of the town guard, who has kind of been your liaison to a degree, seeing as all those days back at Burning Man, you guys were arrested and all that. So at that point, she did tell you where Valine was, who you were looking for, and you went to find her. Then you got attacked by Fetid Curse. Everything that, once again, Mace or that Claw said was spot on. And then, as Fred mentioned, at the end of the fight, because he was afraid he was going to die, Fetid Curse took and tried to run away from you guys. Got a fair enough distance away that he could see one of his whispers who had run into a building and grabbed some innocent civilians and basically told him to blow himself up. And when he had done so, the flames engulfed those people, and coming forth from the flames was not only some perfectly fine civilians, but a crimson-suited man with a white mask, brushing soot off of his suit. He walked over and basically grabbed Fetid's shoulder and turned him into a tiny little meatball that clearly was still alive, considering it seemed to thump with a beating heart. And then eventually, at the party's kind of request of making sure that Fetid was dead, he kind of took the mask, tucked it into his suit, and then crushed the little meatball. And you heard a little, shriek along with the squelch under his shoe, and then he kind of disappeared on you guys. It was also requested by Kara that you guys, I should say, Gemini, open up his shop for you guys. So if we go back to the East Haven map for a second, this is not quite yet, but in the next, literally the next morning, I should say, so by 6 a.m. The next morning, Gemini shop will once again be open. So I have it back on map. But where we actually find ourselves coming back in is, as I had showed you earlier, at the bar. So you guys at the end of last session basically said, or I should say during last session, had taken a long rest before leaving Imdra's barracks. And so after the fight, you decided, okay, cool, everything's chill, we can kind of hang around the town. You went and informed Imdra that the Hex of the Fetid Curse is dead. You said you guys killed him just to make things easier, and then you went off to find Valine. So that is actually where you find yourselves after finding Valine. Is just in the inn. It is, I think I had about 5 or 6 p.m. Let me double check that.
How are we gonna do this without Chris saying what the party's doing?
I know, it's going to be an interesting night, because he also did just text me a minute ago. He is not going to be making it tonight. So we have no Kara. Good luck without your leader.
Don't let them sell Malo.
I will, of course, be doing some level of RP for him. We did talk about what he's looking for from Gemini and Marino. And I can also, just fill in. But he will not be around. So, you guys had long rested until 4 p.m. is when you kind of woke up on this day. After kind of fighting, going and telling Imdra, going and finding Valine, reconvening, it is 6 p.m. So because of the long rest rules, you guys technically have, I think you have to wait until, I think you
4 hours?
Yeah, 4 p.m. I guess. 4 p.m. would be the end of your last long rest. So you have to wait until around then to be able to long rest again. So, with how that fight went and all that, it was mentioned you guys were intending to long rest before you left the town again. So, I don't know if that's still the intention or not. We can discuss it at this point during the RP. But I did want to just make you aware of just all that little kind of background stuff. So, we will come back in to basically Valine chatting with you guys. Just let me take a drink quick.
So what I want to know before we get
Hmm.
into that is what's the group consensus on how we feel about that whole Gemini thing? Because as much
Ah.
as, of course, we want to benefit from it, he's clearly got a stake on this. So
Hmm.
Well, and do we remember Gemini? Because I thought you said that like we forgot about it
So
after we like left his
I can clarify.
tent.
So when you had first initially met Gemini, I think is what you're thinking, was he basically had a illusion over his face. That was a face that you always forgot. It looked human, but you could never really place the details. And you did not recollect anything of him from your Mysterium that we
Okay.
did at the beginning.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So between the two, there was kind of like a degree to which you didn't recognize him. But the shop and the two of them are definitely characters, like at least as some sort of mysterious shop, salesman, whatever, that you would have recognized as people, and that the shop is what it is. So its availability, like Kara asking for it, is not outside of the realm of possibility and all that. So it's going to be available
Right.
to you and all that. So yeah, and you would recognize, I think, at this point with the mask and the suit, the mask itself would have probably looked a little kind of new, and it might kind of confuse you, especially with the hex being what they are. But you would have
Oh, like
recognized the suit for sure as Gemini, and the voice. I mean, it's the same voice. Of course, guy doesn't hide himself on that front, right? So, anything else, guys?
uh,
Is Blake
I mean, I
muted?
guess the question still stands: do we care that uh he got involved, or
Yeah, a good
um
point.
Pluzak is happy Fetid Curse is dead. Pluzak is worried that Gemini is a member of the Hex.
Ah, okay,
oh,
perfect.
okay,
I think
that's an
Kara.
interesting take.
I think Kara would say, just because of her history with him, right? She knows that the armor she has was a gift from her gods. So she would basically tell you, Pluzak, something to the effect of like, I don't know what he is, but if my gods trust him, then I will put my faith in him, at least to some extent. Like, it's Kara. She'll still make her own judgments based on what he does, but she would at least tell you, I don't think he's part of the Hex. Her gods wouldn't trust the Hex, especially after what's happened. Um, but he definitely seems to be some sort of strange entity. Kara would probably say, she thinks him probably similar to like a god. She's met plenty of gods before. Even though her memory's
So,
fuzzy, she'd think something similar.
so we're pretty sure that this isn't the Hex in a different form because the thing is wearing a mask and it just killed the other guy wearing a mask pretty easily and said something along the lines of this isn't the bargain or forget the term exactly he used.
Yeah, so he basically told you it was against the rules.
It's against the rules, yeah.
Yeah.
But like we're 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 like 99% sure this isn't the hex or a maybe parent of the hex.
I think at least Kara would say like, well, he's around. I asked him to be around, so we can always go question him. How much faith you want to put into that?
Yeah, I mean, if he was, it sounds like he would say no.
Maybe, but she'd basically say, we can ask what he can prove. At a minimum,
Okay.
because I do know Kara is going to head over there regardless. She does have something, she's looking to do there. So
I mean, they helped me out as Pluzak, so there is that. I'm just now putting more
pieces
2 and
together.
3 together, and I'm going, hey man,
This seems a lot like 5, but Kara's being like, but it's 2 and 2, Pluzak.
yeah. And I'm like, no, it's 2 and 3
uh,
Listen, I only have 4 fingers.
because something is a little off.
Interesting. Good phrasing. Okay. How about you, Mace? Anything you want to add to that?
Uh, not right now. I think Mace would mostly sort of mull it over. I mean, of course, be grateful that, we got, one tick off the list there, but it all sort of feels too easy,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Absolutely.
Also, Pluzak is writing in his journal about Gemini just like turning a person into a little meatball and
Yeah.
squishing him
Yeah, I'd imagine
and
Pluzak
coming
would
out of
say that.
fire without a problem.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like easier methods of transportation.
So, when you do those notes, are you trying to draw Gemini at all? Is there any level to which you're trying to? Is it just describing him? How do you reference him? Just by name?
I would describe him, like you do, velvet suit,
Mm-hmm.
top hat, mask, monocle.
Perfect. Okay.
Um, I mean, do I actually know Gemini's name?
Yeah, he introduces himself all the time, right? And it's Gemini's Mysterium. Gemini and Marino's Mysterium is what's written on the side of the caravan that they
The
are
cart.
in this
Okay.
world. Yeah, a cart.
So,
Thank you.
so then, yeah, I would put, Gemini next to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you have any sort of description of Marino in there as well?
No.
Okay. Is Marino brought up? I mean, Kara would also kind of mention the Hex never had a child with him. You think it's just another one of the kids? Just to ask.
Um, like, what does Pluzak think of Marino?
Yeah.
Pluzak has no clue. He just thinks he's an employee of Gemini.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Blake? Would Leif have any thoughts on Gemini or Marino? You think worth bringing up?
I don't think so. I mean, right now his head's just going. He got cool shit.
Okay. Okay. Well, so do you remember there was a point as well where Fortuna, while in the shop, was able to actually talk to the party and
Yep.
seemed to know them. So with Fortuna seeming to trust them, does that just add anything to your opinion? Not necessarily you have to share it with the party. I'm just curious as a player.
I mean, not really. Leif doesn't trust a lot of people.
Okay.
He's like trusting the party.
Yeah,
That's him.
that's kind of
him
the
growing-
extent of what he's got
yeah,
right
that's
now.
him
Yeah.
growing as a person.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
trust a lot
rope.
of people, but also I fucked the enemy like multiple times.
Hey, you know.
It was only the one human, and the rest were all fish-like creatures,
Yeah.
and a seal.
You didn't.
But the
you didn't
happy
let me
or the
fuck
walrus.
whale.
Yeah.
I was down to fuck the whale, but you wouldn't let me.
Yeah. What if he offered himself up? The
you
walrus
do-
and he were buddies, right? Or actually, that was more you, Mace, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Mason.
Yeah, well,
He gave
we
you
all
the
got our
fresh
downfalls.
ice.
But all I'm saying is that if Orwell at any point in time decides to flash us, we know who's going.
Oh yes, that's probably true.
Great. Now you.
Leif's
put
got
it
his
in
Fs.
Rick's head.
He knows what he's about. Okay.
It's
Okay.
like,
Perfect.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. The next time you guys are in an army of ice mephits, there's just gonna be one that's kind of like really gussied up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Leif!
They've goes, I'm tired of fighting. Time
Yeah.
for the other F.
You ever try a cord?
We're gonna find out today.
Bye, guys. His sword just like stays behind. Like, I'm not going with this fool anymore. Fuck him.
You know, slight sidetrack, by the way.
Mhm.
I've been looking at items, right?
Mm-hmm.
And horseshoes of speed are actually a thing.
Yeah, that's what Solar has.
Yeah, I just, I kind of went and adapted the whole, boot to speed to like
Is that
horseshoes
how
of
you
speed.
did it? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. No, I
but
knew the
horseshoes of
horseshoes of
speed
speed were a
actually
thing.
exist.
Yeah, that was why I always specified them as that item because I
Yeah.
knew those were real.
No,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I know, and that's and that's how we broke Solar. Oh God.
Anyways,
Yeah. No, I get you. It's
so
funny.
I guess we're here sort of recovering from the battle or whatnot.
So, yeah, after the end of the fight, like I said, you went to Imdra, let her know that the town was a little safer. You went and found Valine, and she basically was like, all right, let's assemble in the pub, get you guys some food.
Bitch.
Hey, Harrison's here! Good timing. So yeah, Valine kind of led you guys to the inn. She's, there's a round of food that has been ordered.
It's pronounced Valoon. Just letting you know.
And that's when
You know what? I
Mallow
guess that's
died.
how we're getting into it.
You fucking piece of shit. I keep telling you, it's Valine. I know my voice is raspy. My father fucked my throat up as a child. Fuck you.
Whoa.
He was
Now,
half a smoker.
back to business.
Whoa. Your dad fucked your
Mello
throat
just
up
hears
as a child?
all of this.
let's just say, when your father's got more skills as an alchemist than he does as a mage, yeah, things get hairy sometimes.
He fancied himself a barista, but he
Ah.
wasn't.
Harry. Jesus.
Hairy? Like pubic?
Yeah, why do you think I sound like this? It's just a bunch of hair in my throat.
Okay. We gotta kill her dad.
That's
That
canonical
guy.
now.
He
Oh
raped her.
god. No, whoa, wait, what?
Oh, you
Alright.
didn't. I was catching that.
No,
My
no.
father fucked up my throat. Things were getting hairy.
No,
Did
just a
nobody
bad
else follow
alchemist.
the breadcrumbs?
Just a bad alchemist, bro.
Well.
All right.
Mallow just looks over at Pluzak. Jesus Christ, where is your head at?
It kind of bobs in and out of the turtle shell.
Now, if only it was up your ass, it would make more sense.
Kara's just like, well, we do know that Pluzak's interest is technically in surviving after reproducing, so that does lead to some effect by which you have to assume he's interested in that act too, right?
Why is Roll20 not wanting to work? There we go.
But, yeah, Valine re-interrupts and just,
Okay. Anyway, you guys are good now, yes? You have finished your
No.
business that you left for? No. We hear a no. I don't trust you. Rest of the party.
Kara's like, yes, we finished our business.
All right, that's worth like 3. Anyone else want to
She's
chime in?
lying.
Still don't trust you.
Points to you, Mace. She's just like,
Yes? No. Finish your business.
I think we're done here.
points to you, Leif.
Nothing.
Okay. They've just staring at a fish, I'm assuming. Points to you, Pluzak, just like,
You're good. You did your business wherever. We can talk. We can move on. We can make our plans.
Yes, as long as I don't need to kill your father.
What? No. Please. No.
Very well.
Okay. So, gonna rewind. We're gonna get you back up to where we were supposed to be. So, we are going to the Ragged Glacier.
and at this point she'll just kind of like pull a map out, put it on the table. Or I guess she'll ask you guys to open up your map since we're gonna go to that one again instead. And we're gonna zoom ourselves out enough. You would see up on the north, or should see on the up on the northeast, the Ragged Glacier, right? So she would
Yes.
probably mark
Oh.
for you guys.
Over there. Interesting.
Yes, it's going to be
Far
a
away.
long journey. Let me put a mark for you guys.
Luzak
So-
would definitely say that's very far away.
So she basically would tell you.
There is basically, I have studied. I'm with the Arcane Brotherhood. I've told you this before, and I have studied maps of this zone from long time ago. Our archives, they reach fair enough back, and I believe, I guess I should say, I located that there was at one point a waterfall at most of the rivers here, up at the Ragged Glacier, and there should be one here that I believe we can actually access. I think that Oral, judging by my understanding, has kept it particularly more frozen by nature of wanting to not let people into the city within, for it has that thing that I told you about that could probably harm her. Everybody following? I feel like I have to really go
looking
slow with
around.
you guys sometimes.
Yeah, Pluzak's looking around because the last time we talked about this book, it wasn't a good environment to talk about the book.
Mhm.
So he's just looking to see if anybody else might be listening or watching or trying to get closer.
Ah, I see. Gotcha. Yes. So, just do me a perception check. Kara has pretty good passive, so she'll be paying somewhat attention to that too. Awesome. Yeah. So you would actually kind of look out and notice that it's lots of townsfolk in the bar, but none of them seem to be paying very much attention to any of you. I mean, there's a couple of people who seem to like be glancing your way because the townfolk do actually know you most, like mostly, and they kind of revere you guys as heroes. You know, they know that you stopped the dragon, you've done a lot of things around town, and offered some charity and things before. So you know, there's a couple people that are like, oh, those are the adventurers. Ah, that's the ejaculating bandits, right?
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
that
I can't
callback,
believe the name
right? Mallow, of course, is
I'm
going to chuckle.
so glad.
Yeah, especially with Kara's wings being out and being fairly obvious who you all are. But you don't
Also, I'd
see
just like to
anything
state-
suspicious. No one coming closer. No one really making more note of you than in that regard.
Okay.
Anything you wanted to say there, Harrison?
Oh, I was just gonna state that everybody at my job knows us as the ejaculating bandits.
Nice. There
Oh
you go.
no.
I'm glad that you've enjoyed the havoc that you wrought.
Yep.
The merch is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, there it
Dude,
is.
I was telling everybody about it. They're like, "Oh, about the party and everything." I'm like, "Yeah, we're called the Ejaculating Bandits." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Cause I'm awesome. That's why."
So they didn't get the real story.
Oh god.
Oh no, I told them the real story about me drawing penises all over a fucking town
While murdering a man,
Yeah.
while murdering a man.
leaving a literal calling card that has never been there before. Trained assassin, everybody. Loved it.
Trained assassin. Here's a giant
Subtle,
penis.
yeah, subtle
Well,
clues as
honestly,
to what direction to
If you
go.
do think about it, it is kind of fitting though for his backstory as the Hex, because his dad had that whole thing about like spreading the rumors and like trying to have calling cards of some degree. So it is kind of still fitting. Now I just kind of fucked it up a little. I like it. Do it out of spite, right?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so she would basically also guide you to by saying
There is a poem in the book that it should allow us to unfreeze or open up this waterfall and skitter on through into the chasm that I believe is behind it. There's notations here about them existing, and if we get through the caverns, I believe it is where the lost city that I'm looking for will be. And if we get there, we will try and locate the weapon for you guys to use against Aurel, and then I will take my findings back to the Arcane Brotherhood and be heralded as basically this guy I've heard named Jesus, who is kind of cool. Like that, equal level.
I've heard someone's got a gardener that's named that.
Said something about doing miracles. I'm performing fucking miracles. I'm finding a lost Netherese city.
So, do we know what kind of weapon this is? Because, realistically speaking, if you're talking about some kind of spell tome, I don't think many of us are going to be able to use that.
It's apparently something incredibly powerful that multiple mages, not even mages,
she actually takes like a notebook out at this point. She starts flipping through it, and she also takes Professor Scant out of like her bag and plops him on the table next to her. And she kind of like flips through the thing, and she's like,
so the article, the artifact, okay, multiple people can attune to it, and can then utilize the great magical power that it holds to supposedly control some sort of power akin to the sun. And I'm pretty sure the sun is not what Aurel wants, so you fuck her with the sun device. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a fucker with a sun device.
All right, well, guess that's as specific as it's gonna get. Let us hope that whatever it is
I mean, honestly,
going
I
to
can tell you
incinerate
more
us in
when we get
contact.
there. I should add that. I do plan to research and figure things out, if that helps.
You'll be delving with us.
Oh, I intend to. Yeah, I want to make this discovery. I want to bring it back to my Arcane Brotherhood and basically be like, hey, yo, bitches, found it. Found some artifacts. Got some Netherese shit. I know where to go.
All right.
So if we use the weapon against Oral and it breaks, are you still okay with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can still probably study what's left, and even then, the whole city is down there. It's not that the city is the weapon. There's just something there that I as far as I can tell, like I said, power of the sun, something to that effect.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Any other questions?
I think I'm good as it is. I'm just hoping we don't get hunted down on the way there.
Yeah, okay. Not quite sure what you mean. I was going to suggest we just go up through the 10 towns because Kerkonig has some good adventurous supply shop stuff there. I think we should get ourselves ready for a long trek. We're going to need lots of rations, definitely some snowshoes, and as much nice warm layers as we can have, because man, it's going to be a long time, long trek. You still got the book, right? Can I see that, by the way, just to confirm, because honestly I'm a little nervous on that front.
And as I ask this, I do want to know, Mace. I know you have it. Where have you
Yeah.
been keeping it? Because we're going to
So,
do some rule
realistically
clarification.
Like
speaking-
Bender, he just opens up his chest.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's inside of his chest.
That's actually what Chris said to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I was thinking as well.
Okay, so I'm okay with that being like there's a hidden compartment that you have that you've got it stored there. I like this is kind of a clarification only from the sense of if you truly want it to be hidden from Arl and you put it in your bag of holding, it will be, but because it's in like another dimension to me, it might not give you the cold resistance because it's kind of like not wearing a
Right,
magic
exactly.
ring
So that's
and expecting
that was
effect.
why I thought about that,
Yeah,
because
so perfect. Yeah.
yeah, I have to have it on my person.
I
so-
will give you the heads up because it's on your person though. If you have like a crit fail on a dex save or something, I might have there be like oh yeah, it slips out for a moment, and I'm gonna let things roll a perception check only to have some level of potential dramatic tension of like
Yeah, I understand that.
because things are going to be focusing on Kara right now because they truly don't know. You guys did that switch pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's more just a matter of wanting there to at least be chance for chance hammer of there being some level of like her Arl figuring it out on the way of this trip. We'll see what happens. See what the rolls determine. I will say back to that point. Yeah, so if Valina would ask for it, I'd assume you'd take it out of whatever hidden compartment you have.
Yeah,
Okay.
and as I sort of like take it out of my armor, I'll sort of dust it a little bit, seeing as I haven't really used that compartment in a little while. And I'll send it over. I'll stay still within the vicinity just to make sure nothing shifty happens, but
Absolutely.
beyond that, yeah, I'll just send it over.
Okay. So you would see Valine kind of shuffles through it and ends up on a page that you would see. It looks like a poem. And I sent this to Kara before, and I am now going to send it to you because she just reads through it, kind of mouths it to herself a little bit, does not read it out loud, and just is nodding as she does so. Kind of, it seems like confirming that it is still the right book, that it is still there, and almost like maybe trying to memorize it a little because she's a mage. She has interest in this sort of stuff, but this should link you to the poem. And I'm making you aware because she then looks at you as she hands the book back, closes it and hands it back, says,
All right, you make sure to keep it safe, because if I have something happen along the way, I'm not gonna lie, I would still like very much for this to succeed, because there are people in the Arcane Brotherhood that will be coming after me at some point. I had a whole note thing that I left that they'll figure it out, and if they at least follow my trail, and I am dead, they will at least discover that we might have succeeded in my posthumous nature, and still award my family the honor that we were looking for. So realistically, I'm kind of hedging my bets and trying to check all my corners, sort of thing. You get what I'm saying? So use this to open Ice Waterfall if I don't make it. Yeah.
Look, I don't have a solid grasp on how long I'm supposed to live, but even I know that one shouldn't just throw away their life, even for a lofty goal such as that. Are you sure you're up for this?
I do not wish to die. I am just acknowledging the fact that we have to traverse a large swath of icy
Kill a
tundra.
god.
Well, there is a god, yes, bearing down upon us due to mostly your actions of retrieving this book for me. So I'm involved. I'm part of this threat. I got skin in the game, and I realize I might at some point die. Yeah. So don't want to, but might as well be a realist.
I can appreciate that. Okay. Let's, we should also actually acknowledge that we're going to be passing through Shattered Frame territory.
Shattered what now?
We should make another of the Hex children as far as we are aware. They reside either within the areas between Kurt and Kirkconnell. So,
Well, Kerdineval is basically a hole in the ground short of the castle. I mean, we could probably just speed through there. And then Kerkonig, like I said, I think we should probably try and stop in and get supplies. I don't want to be carrying those
I'm
too
not
far.
against it. All I'm saying is that we should be on high alert as we traverse the territory.
Would we not be on high alert already due to the fact that we have a fucking god chasing us, though? Like, just
She
saying.
is
Just putting
likely
it out there.
not going to reach us within the 10 towns territory. But that said, it's still the least immediate threat.
I'm just gonna follow you guys' lead on that one, I think, because I don't know. The hex rumor thing that was floating around, I'm understanding. But like, I don't know. That seems more like your business.
We understand. We'll try to get us all there in one piece. As it is, it's probably best that we. Well, at this time, it would be, I guess, the like late afternoon or.
At
This
this
evening.
point, with this discussion being had, we will call it. I mean, you guys realistically probably want to kill time, right? Mysterium's not open until 6 a.m. the next day. You can't really long rest until 4 p.m.
Right.
the next day. So, yeah, we'll just say you've been talking most of the night and feasting. It's early a.m. hours, 1 or 2 in the a.m. maybe.
So-
Okay.
Sound fair?
I would turn to Valim and say, you said you might die. Would you want your soul to last a lifetime again?
She slowly turns to the rest of the party, just generally a little unsettled by this question.
Just walk away from him.
She
best,
will.
Best suggestion. Just walk away from him.
Professor Scant though kind of is like, oh, what you mean
She's
like me?
having your soul last forever is not that bad.
Consciousness preserved. Although I'm
Kind
not
of,
quite a
yeah.
soul.
Yes, preserved, but in a better form to do more than to be carried around and talk.
Just walk away.
So are you offering to turn me into a zombie?
Because she kind of, if you remember, had some zombie kobolds with her. So
Yeah.
She seems to at least have some knowledge of that process, right? So.
I mean, zombies are brainless. You would still have the essence of yourself.
If you've somehow discovered the secret to lichdom, I might have to smite you.
Okay, so, if you
You actually do kind of see I wouldn't necessarily say gears turning, but Valine definitely is trying to process what you're saying, and as someone who is magically, curious, and has spent some time with you in the past and knows that you have some level of skill, she's like,
all right, is this related to the thing you're trying to do? Are you offering me like a body, like after I die, like what you are trying to succeed on?
Yes.
Just yes.
No further explanation.
I mean, if you pass, you could be in this body if you're willing, or you remain dead, and we hope that your family gets what the Arcane Brotherhood finds.
Well, we know that ghosts exist, so
You know what?
at this point,
I'm kind of with you, big guy. I prefer not to just be a ghost. So because if I'm dead, and I don't know if you succeeded, there might be some whole unfinished business. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm dead anyway. I don't see what could be. I don't know. Fuck it. Why not?
you are braver than most.
I grew up in the Arcane
Thank you.
Brotherhood. Experiments are kind of par for the course, and like I said about the hair throat thing.
Like, I would be glad to get rid of this permanent sore throat.
Oh god.
If it takes Ian to do it, so be it.
Yep. That's gonna be the thing. Feline dies, and all of a sudden her voice is like, "Hello, everyone. It is great to meet you."
Hello!
Excellent.
All right. So Pluzak has a test subject. That's frightening. We're gonna watch.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch Toll of the Dead suddenly ring from the wrong side of the fucking field. I get the feeling.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna remind Pluzak that all undead have advantages near me, so I'm just saying.
That is true. Is a thing.
Wait, what? Undead have advantage or disadvantage?
No advantage, but
they-
they
yeah,
get like a
friendly
plus
undead.
to hit. Yeah.
Friendly undead have advantages near him. Yeah.
Okay.
All undead, not only friendly ones.
Oh, interesting.
Don't say that.
Okay. It's not how I understood it, but interesting. Okay.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the way it reads, it kind of leaves room for interpretation. But what it says is, any fiends and undead within 10 feet of the paladin gain bonus to melee weapon damage rolls equal to my charisma modifier.
I guess so. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, since
I gotta
are we
volunteer.
like
So
fast forwarding here or like?
So-
Sort of. So what's going on, Fred?
Uzak would say, "Can we get the supplies in East Haven and not go to the other towns? Because if we go to the other towns, our journey is going to be slowed down anyway because we're going to have to fight the shattered frame. But if we also think it's important to take out the Hex's people, I just think as we take out more Hex's people, the more the Hex is going to come after us.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, but I don't feel like my dad's gonna hold a grudge about you killing members of the family too much. It's more so he agreed to do something.
So what
To
I'm
get
wondering, and what I would ask Malo about, I guess, is we have a bunch of different players here. That being, of course, your siblings, and they're all sort of seemingly claiming territories. Are we just getting rid of the competition and making one of them stronger, or what's going on?
So I will say, Harrison, just before you answer, there is nothing that you're aware of in terms of your training or upbringing by which your father would necessarily like. There's no way you're aware of that by like killing your siblings you would have grown stronger per se. Your father always had individual trainings. He more pitted you against each other in terms of like how much the
To
name
make you want to get better.
yeah, how much the name of the hex grew by your actions, or at least that was what he always told you was like, you have to make the name of the hex grow. If you're going to be better than your siblings, and like, you could kind of tell by the way that the others, when you heard rumors of them, were, like it was very much just about like he measured your
So it's more
performance
of a
against each
competition
other.
than a tempering.
Yeah, well, if anything, exactly. He did it to temper by basically being like, you have to be better than each other, like. And not to say that you definitely wouldn't be aware of this as much because you were always still like you never achieved a true you go out and do your business now status. But maybe Serena probably would have brought it up. But like if your performance was good, you got better treatment. Like it's not like there was any. It was pretty quid pro quo. You know what I mean? Like people wanted to be on the top. It's what got them actually good stuff. Like the hex would treat them better, and they'd get magic items and things. You'd hear stuff about that from her. So basically, she'd be trying to convince you to fall in line through that. So you know all that at least, but you don't know necessarily anything beyond that.
Yeah, I don't think we would get stronger or anything like that. I I think it's more so just my father wanting to have control over the lands, and it's just whatever sections are there are there.
Okay. Well, in that case, I guess we might as well not delay any further.
Like the views of it is you're growing the hex. It doesn't matter. Like you're wanting to do it, obviously, but I don't view my siblings wanting to go after each other more than they already would. But if I definitely feel as though if they were told by my father you need to do this, that they're going to focus on that above all else, to follow the commands of what needs to happen.
Sense? For once. Yeah. I suppose we might as well just hope for the best and deal with things.
Okay. I would say it's only once your conversation finishes, but you would find. Let me see who would it be sent to. I guess Mace is who would see it, but all of a sudden, just on the table in front of you is just a little black envelope. Seems like just if anything, like a folded, like this is a little folded piece of paper. It's also equally as black is within. Do you want to open it and see what it says?
Sure. Would I have any notion as to what this thing is? Because it wasn't there before, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yeah, and you didn't see anyone approach the table or anything, and no one necessarily did because Kara's got a high perception, passive perception. She didn't seem to react to anything.
Right.
Pluzak, you saw looking around earlier, and he didn't seem to notice anything. So, you definitely think it just suddenly was there. It would remind you most of, at least in terms of color, back when you were in basically in Giselle's realm, just to shorthand it.
Yeah.
There were 3 scrolls that were presented to you that she kind of showed you. The black of this missive is very similar to one of the scrolls. That's about the best he would know.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll open the envelope.
Okay, that's good. You would actually notice, interestingly, that as you reach to the envelope, you pull this little missive out. You actually see Chance's one of his little tendrils had started to reach for it as well. But regardless, you pop it open, and you would just see in basically silvery white writing, "Don't think too hard until you talk to us."
Okay. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding here, but is this sort of like a call to action or a thing of wait until this moment kind of thing?
Share it with the group.
Don't share it with the group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's-
I'm not going to answer that. I think it's up to Mace to determine. It's just a line of text on a piece of paper. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess the first person that I would talk to about this would be Kara, since she's, of course, as you mentioned, not noticed it, and
yeah. So
she's
do you
pretty
hand
quick
it
on
to
that
her?
stuff.
Do you read it out loud to her? How are we approaching
I'd probably hand it to her. I mean, if it's anything otherworldly or anything of the sort, or even maybe overly suspicious that might fly over my head,
that? So
she'd know about it.
do me this as well. I do think, yeah, just give me a perception check.
Sure.
I just want to see if how well Mace would notice something. It's kind of an inane little detail, but I just want to say, oh, okay. Never mind then.
Hey.
Yeah. So as you hand the note over, for sure, you actually notice the kind of silver glitter very much not even reminds you, it's identical to the way that there are, I don't know if you guys remember this, back when Kara first got her armor, there's like a split down the center. It slowly kind of has healed up over time. It's definitely smaller now, but there's been a material that's always been kind of blocking that space where the crack was. That is kind of it's not fully opaque. It's a little bit see-through still, but it is very dark and very similar to the void color of this paper. And it has some glittering stars within it, just tiny little lights that seem to shimmer and reflect. And it's very similar to that silver text on the letter. I mean, you would know that again, she got that armor from Gemini and Marino. And I guess Kara would certainly answer your question with kind of like, no, not a call to action. They just want to talk to you first. I think they're going to maybe answer your questions. They heard what you were saying, somehow. And at that point, she kind of starts looking around, curious. Um,
I would probably say that eavesdropping is rude, but I'm sitting next to Mallow, and he literally breathes on my food all the time. So
I
Exactly.
would say with your 20 perception roll, you would kind of actually feel chance shift on your hip a little when Kara was talking about like she doesn't understand how.
ooh, like an uncomfortable shuffling type of thing.
Yes, 100%.
Aw, fucking
Okay.
spies.
That matter is gonna be dealt with in private. But
Oh, somebody's gonna spank their weapon.
God.
but yeah, for now, I'll sort of like keep those insights to myself and thank Kara for her help. I mean, I'll just say, yeah. Well, I suppose we might have to take them up on their offer, considering where we're headed.
Okay. So Kara would, I guess, just go to hand the letter back to you. So that's openly being like passed at the table. So at least you see it, Pluzak or Leif and Mallow. Like you guys see that it's being passed. I don't know if you care to mention it, but it's all you guys. Otherwise, though, I guess Kara would go back to the point Pluzak asked about. I think it was Pluzak. Well, I guess we can do supplies here if the town can supply them, because realistically, the whole rebuilding thing and the dragon ravaging towns, we'll see. And I think we have enough storage capacity. She like looks over at you, Mace. Like I think the two of you are the ones that have the bags of holding, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she definitely like taps hers to kind of show what she means. But basically she's pointing out that it would be the burden of you two to take all the supplies. Valine would also bring up, because Kara did mention it before, so we'll use the two of them. Like,
I would basically wish we could take dog sleds, but would suggest not. So, how do you guys want to handle that? Because A, the amount of food that they will require, and B, they are not going to be capable of coming into the caves and the city with us.
Why not?
It is going to be small caverns, and you wish to navigate armies of dogs through those caverns.
Well-trained dogs.
They will be yipping and barking, and things will know where we are. There will likely be monsters down there that wish to eat us, and will definitely wish to eat dogs. So it's just going to be a constant fucking siren. I mean, it's just the actual logistics of this are nonsensical.
We should
lot
believe her
of-
with being underground before, and we know what kind of stuff is in there. We really don't want to risk poor creatures dying to such things.
Are you worried about dying?
You talking to me or?
No, Valim.
Oh,
We already talked about this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a realistic possibility. You're gonna take my soul or whatever if I do, right? Like that's why your whole thing about asking. Or are you saying for you guys? Like, yes, you guys could die too. Was that not clear?
Can we like kill Kara in front of him? Have Kara
Can I
come
just slit
back to
Kara's
life?
throat really quick?
Kara would kind of stop Mallow's knife with her hand gently and just be like,
I would
I
ask
can die and be revived,
many
which should be
times,
helpful.
repeatedly.
I also don't know, though, the extent and limit of my abilities. So let's just say I can't necessarily promise sharing it with any of you. So, you guys can possibly die. We'll keep that on the table, pointing that out.
And I'll look at the party and go, I can give you a second life.
No, you can't.
Doing that,
Don't listen.
eh?
Don't listen to him.
Right? Got my eyebrows up, eyes open, little
Yeah.
smile,
He's
nodding.
like thumbs up at Valine.
Don't
I-
listen to him. Don't trust anything that turtle man says.
have you been teaching him to falsify documents?
No,
Then what is he talking about?
I don't know. I don't trust it though. Again, this man literally tried to kill me. Repeatedly.
And
For
you
science.
tried to kill me too.
I tried to fuck with you.
Multiple
I
occasions.
mean,
And fuck you.
you definitely tried to kill him at one point as well, though. Let's be. Now I tried to kill everyone in the party at one point. I feel like
That's true.
definitely tried to kill Kara once. Fought Mace to unconsciousness.
No, didn't
Yeah.
didn't try to kill Kara. Killed Kara.
Yeah, fair. I think actually, to be fair, the only one you haven't tried to kill is Leif. At least not actively.
Which is weird
Yeah.
because Leif had sex with his sister.
Yeah, but everybody's had sex with his sister.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
my god.
That's horrible,
now,
dude.
now he's gonna try to kill you.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no. All right. So if there's more questions for Valine, if you guys have more stuff to discuss, feel free. I'm going to say that at basically at the point of this dinner being done, though, we can go to the Mysterium, just so you know, whenever you guys want to move on.
Yeah,
Let me know.
sure.
Just how do you expect us to go there without dog sleds? It's gonna take forever.
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
gonna
so
discuss that.
realistically, I would point out the distance over to there is actually about the same as where you went to Jinglong's. Maybe a little longer, but you went down to there with just snowshoes. So the trip will be about the same. You know, you might have stuff to random encounters along the way. It's going to take time, but I'm not going to really make the actual travel itself be too arduous. It's more about making sure you have the right stuff and just the time that it's going to take. I mean, most of you have cold resistance and stuff anyway, right? So just at most it's going to be like straight con rolls to see if you guys get exhaustions at night, or depending on how you set up against the ice methods, I should say. You do know that's still a threat.
I love con rolls.
Yeah, I know you do. So it is possible with the right, you know, if you have the right equipment, but it definitely will take longer. So more potential random encounters and things.
I mean, it's fine. Let's do as she says. She's the expert here, and she's really literally banking her life on it. So,
And we're not?
well, yes, but that's kind of the job, right? Whereas for her, it's more personal.
I mean,
So I'm
she also
inclined to
banked
trust her a
all of
bit
our
more.
lives on it.
Yeah, and she will also kind of throw in if you guys are talking about out loud about this, where she's like,
I mean, listen, I don't want any of us to die. I feel like if all
Okay.
of you are surviving, it's a better chance for me to survive too. Like, this is a team effort. I'm just, you know.
Got it. I got it, guys. Griffins.
There's no way on this white earth that anybody is going to lend us griffins.
What are you talking about? The people we helped. The Griffin
I
Riders.
know what you're referring to. All I'm saying is that they don't like us nearly as much as the other tribe. And they are most certainly not going to lend us their griffins. We passed their trials and they barely agreed to meet us. So I don't know what you're plotting to do to
Kara
convince them to
saved
lend us griffins.
Saved their kid, if I remember right.
mm-hmm, that is correct. Kara would also speak up and basically say, yeah, I mean, I taught one of their younglings to fly, and also I would point out we stopped their tribes from warring. Like, I agree with you, we barely got them to meet, but once they met, we were successful, so they probably are, like, we're more favorable to them now than before. I'd assume. Maybe I'm wrong.
I suppose it doesn't hurt to try. But how do we contact them?
I mean, we could just go there. Technically, I don't know, I guess it's technically, what, a shorter distance, but not by much.
Yeah, we wouldn't go to Karakonic. We'd have to go directly west from where we are now. Right? It was Sky Tower?
It'd probably be easiest to go just directly west from where you are now. Yes, it was Sky Tower.
Okay.
I mean, that might help us get quicker. I don't know. I'm just trying to
So,
think of
yeah.
ways
So
that we
Kara
don't have
being
to.
the navigator she is, I guess, would just start measuring, I think is the best bet. same way we've done before. So I think it's Alt. So from there to Sky Tower, even if we measure it straight, 46. So the bar is, what, 30 or so, we'll call it. And that's 20 miles, so 1.5 times, so it's about 30, 35 miles probably, maybe a little more, but somewhere around there, to the Sky Tower. You guys move at like a quarter mile an hour with snowshoes, right? So I get 140 hours of just travel.
Well, that's good enough. Plus, it's not like we're going
So
too far away.
if you went to Kerkonig
It's
and
like
we do the
6
same
days.
thing, it is 50. So definitely a little further. So it's about 200 hours of travel from Kerkonig up to the spot. And then if you're flying the Griffins, I'll look up their actual fly speed in a bit. Assuming, so it's actually still the same distance from Kerkonig as it would be from Sky Tower. You would just be flying with Griffins, which would probably be, at a minimum half the time, right? 100 hours, probably less. So maybe like camp out twice and you'd be there. But yeah, so that's technically the distance. So it would be the 140 hours I said plus whatever this 50 is with the Griffins if you go to Sky Tower. Technically more travel. We'll see how you want to cut it. Let me look up the speed of Griffins quick, and I'll tell you how long that whole travel would be technically. Although I guess the latter half is safer, so it doesn't really matter. You guys wouldn't be attacked in the sky.
Potentially.
I will tell you with how the blizzards are blowing. Well, I guess, yeah, that far out you'd be fine. They would be fine, I should say. Like flying creatures. I was going to say with the blizzards blowing, it's not like much is really flying around. But, yeah. So fly is 80 feet. So they're traveling. I might get faster than you guys. 50 feet is... Oh, I was doing it wrong. So from Sky Tower to the Rega Glacier on Griffins, it would take... I get about 30 hours. Might be overselling it, but it's okay.
That's actually quite decent.
So it would be the 140 to go to Sky Tower, and then you'd have like the flight. You'd have to have... So it'd be 30 hours of travel. So like I said, I think that makes sense that it would be... The Griffins could probably fly for... We can even just call it 16 hours.
I mean, they
So it would
flew
be
over
one
a fucking
rest.
ocean for us. How long was the ocean?
The Griffins... You didn't take the Griffins over the ocean.
Oh, no, we didn't.
You did float the idea. It was possible. It was something you were talking about. And that's a
Yeah.
really fair point. So yeah, they could have, but I don't know that would have been necessarily even the same distance, because that was out to the Sea of Moving Ice. From Skull is up. Yeah, I guess it's about the same 50. Yeah, maybe. Could have landed on icebergs though and slept for a night. Either way, I'm just saying it's 2 days of travel, one night of rest with the Griffins, and then 140 hours of travel to the Sky Tower if you did want to go that route, or it's just 200 hours of straight travel from Kerkonig to the Rega Glacier on foot with snowshoes. And if you did choose to do dog sleds and just try and figure out what to do with the dogs, I think that cuts that down to. Oh, actually, I might have this wrong. It might be half a mile an hour. So the travel might be cut in half for all that. It might be 70 hours of travel. No, I don't think that's right. I think it's a half mile an hour with dog sleds. I'm gonna look that up quick. Regardless, if you take the dog sleds, we'll say it takes half the amount of time currently. So it would be 100 hours with the dog sleds. But I'm gonna get that number quick for you to make sure. Just heard a fork fall upstairs. Hopefully everything's okay. Someone's dinner is not ruined. You okay there?
Yeah.
I mean, really, the biggest thing would be if Kara doesn't want to take the sled dogs because she is the most attuned to them.
Ah, I did have it wrong. Okay. It is half a mile with snowshoes. It's 1 mile with dog sled. So if you're moving at 1 mile an hour, and we said 50 miles, 20 miles is 30, so 45, 50, yeah, 45, right? 50, 60, 60. Yeah, so it's about 100. So it'd be 100 hours of travel with snowshoes. It would be cut down to 50 with the dog sled, 70 of 70 with the dog with snowshoes to Sky Tower. You know what? 35 with a dog sled, and then the Griffins are the Griffins. 30 hours to the Ragged Glacier. So sorry, there's your proper numbers just to make sure.
Yeah, honestly, it's a promising prospect. That might be the way to go.
Dog sled to Sky Tower, Griffins to Waterfall.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Are we able to have
Oh,
the
so-
dog sleds like sent back?
The dog what now?
Can we send the dog sleds back?
Struggling. So
I mean, we would hope to return from the city, right?
The
I
Like,
didn't know if
one-way
we were
trip
just gonna.
caught a guy over
I didn't know if we were just gonna fly back or something.
If we don't, it will be a worthy offering.
Kara would at least remind you guys the Sky Tower Goliaths did seem to have like a reverence for animal life because they like bond with griffins and all
Right.
that. So at a minimum, she would suggest maybe they could take care of them, but in terms of getting them back to the 10 towns, short of like someone, you know, going back to the Sky Tower, getting them and bringing them back, there's really no way to direct them back there unless, you know, there's someone who does it. You guys could maybe ask the Goliaths or try and convince them to do it for a job. But the best bet would be if you truly wanted to do that, maybe take them to Sky Tower and leave them there. But there's really no way to get them back to 10 towns without you. I mean, Valine would even offer like she had the kobolds, but she doesn't think they could.
Yeah, she doesn't
that
trust
as
them with
expeditional
difficult
mode.
tasks like that.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it's reasonable. The hope here, because at least at this point in time, we don't have any certainty. So the hope here is that we go there in the aforementioned route and come back doing it backwards. So
So you
Yeah.
would want to somehow have them able to pick
want
you
the
up with the
Griffins to
the Griffins.
stay there.
Yeah, I kind of need clarity on that too.
That would be, I think, a tough.
Oh, that's yeah. You make a good point. Yeah. I hadn't thought of the Griffins not being there anymore.
Valine, I think,
mean-
would also while you're planning, just so you guys know, just point out like she thinks that this seems kind of a weird endeavor to take if you don't actually know the Griffins are going to be available, where you could just walk and be there and not take all this time that she's already felt like you've wasted, considering she gave you
Yeah.
extra time.
Who can
just for
tell
her opinion.
us no? Everyone we go to says yes. Eventually.
Who is this person?
That's a really creepy statement. I don't know how to take that. I really have not been able to take a lot of your statements tonight. You used to be a lot more chill. What happened to you?
I'm chill. I mean, we got the Sky Tower clan to talk to the other Goliath clan, and we talked to Petch's group, got them all together. I mean, no one's ever said no to us before.
The problem still remains.
the Frostmaiden
Let's
basically
assume they
say-
do say yes.
Didn't the
How
Frostmaiden
do we
basically
get
say
back?
no and fuck you though? Cause like
And
Blizzard.
we're going to change your mind. It hasn't been a final no.
Oh God.
The guy from the Durgar castle, he said no initially. And then yes.
Kara is like,
Excuse me, sir,
he
that was a
died,
woman."
Blizzak. He didn't say yes to anything. He died.
Tomato, tomato.
You just couldn't turn him into a zombie after.
Yeah, wasn't strong enough yet.
Didn't have enough symbiosis with your spores.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So, as much as I love the the Griffin plan, I actually have no clue how we would do to get back. So unless someone has a suggestion, I think I'm going to side with Meline
Kara,
here, and
Kara would at least devil's advocate that, like, if you did take the Griffins there, you could always walk the path back. That Valine is planning on having you guys travel there if you needed to. But realistically, at that point, you know, what was the point of taking the way out of the way? I guess just make one way
yeah,
easier. But
yeah.
I would say Kara is still on the concept of like trying to figure out a way to do the dog sleds, because I know Chris had intended to potentially take them to the Ragged Glacier. So I'm gonna say that Kara's vote is still on take dog sleds, just so that's out there. I don't know if he would have changed his mind, but kind of tough to tell.
Can we take somebody with us to watch the dogs near the entrance of the waterfall
You could try.
Wait, we're going.
and
We're not-
stays there, right?
Okay.
I mean, do you know anyone that you think could do that?
Yeah. Oh, you want a name?
That's. I mean, and how would you do it? I guess you'd have to, or you can just tell me how you'd go about doing
Man,
it.
we could get Ravenous to do it. We can get maybe Petra, Magnus, or I'm sorry, Dimple Chubs.
Yeah, you want to go all the way out of your way to go find Petra? I like that idea, but that's yet again more time out of your way.
These are very strong candidates that might help us.
Yeah, that is true.
Instead of killing the shattered frame, we
Well, to
could
be
always charm them.
I guess you do know Petra was planning on leaving on a journey with Magnus, so you don't even necessarily know if he's still around, to be fair.
That's true.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. You could technically, I guess, try and reach out to some people.
Okay. So I mean, at this point, we just have to vote.
Nobody liked
right?
my ideas.
Yeah,
I get
take
it.
a vote.
Okay, I get it.
Take a vote which path you guys want to try and take, and then how you want to take it, with or without dog sled, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to be the first one out there and say, let's walk.
The whole way, walk.
Yes.
We're gonna be exhausted.
Not if we set up camp properly, but
Damn,
To
we're
your
gonna just
point.
be continuously attacked.
and we are not with the other options.
Well, the other option is we take a sled dog, right? So we can at least travel twice as far, so that's less times we get attacked. Griffins, we potentially won't get attacked from the air.
Okay, so how about this? Let's
How about Cobra Kai and Cobra Kai, Dragon Kai,
Well, Cobra Kai, what?
and
Yeah.
teleportation, portal, tiny huts, something.
Do you have any idea how we can procure these things?
Not anymore. We'd have to go back and visit Dragon Kai.
Yeah, just take that whole journey again.
Okay.
Colleen's gonna be real happy to hear that.
Listen, what's another week of freezing cold blizzards?
The same distance to the Ragged Glacier, so if you're asking that question.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get the swordsman. I don't know. Just throwing out stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. I think it's worthwhile to look into the Griffins, even if it backfires. We've at least made some way towards our, like, end location goal.
Okay.
So I don't know what anyone else feels about that.
I mean, it was my idea, so I feel great about that.
Valine would kind of complain it's going to take a lot of time to go out of your way if you get told no. But she's, basically along for the ride, considering you are her ticket, or at least her protection.
Feline, you would get to ride a griffin.
Yeah, okay.
Again, it's pronounced a Valoon.
Fuck you. I appreciate that, but I'm just trying to get to my goal before I die of old age. Because honestly, that's starting to frighten me more than the whole fucking getting killed out there thing. You guys take a long time to decide shit.
Yeah. Yep. Because our decider isn't here.
Yeah, Kara's just like blankly staring into space right now. Ah, the gods.
When is he supposed to get back?
He will not be here
Never.
tonight.
Oh, I thought
He's-
he was
he's
going to
working-
be late.
Yeah, he was initially thinking he was going to be late. He texted me that work has taken quite a bit more than they thought, and he's either going to be home later than he intended or probably too tired. I don't know. He just said he's not going to make it. So sadly, I am Kara, and Kara is a little ditzy tonight. No way
Alright,
to decide.
so I'm with William. We gotta walk. We can't take the dogs because the dogs are just we would have nothing to do with the dogs at the end. Unless somebody decides that they want to come with us, some townsfolk, some guard, somebody that would watch the dogs for us. I do remember when we were in Carrick.
So there's Carrick, Dinavel, and Kerkonig.
Carrick.
I can turn that so you can see it
Um,
better. Hold on.
There was a dude there that had sled dogs, and he took care of the dogs. Maybe he would come with us.
Interesting notion.
Hmm.
Or maybe I don't know that.
No,
I think
you
that's Ravnus.
that's fine. It's okay. I'll still say that it's fine.
I mean, we did meet him.
And you
so-
were in that town for a while. Like, it's not like you didn't have stuff happen there.
Yeah.
You know, we'd already be part of the way there if we started already.
We can't. We gotta take a long rest.
Leif says halfway, like, down a barrel of ale.
If we left now before, we could have already half been.
I'm already warmed up.
But
Wonderful.
probably more importantly, before deciding where we want to go, is we need a passphrase from you, Valim, that only you and us would know.
Is this one of those things that you're supposed to have with your kids so that, like, strangers can't pick them up from Magecraft school?
Sure.
It's a little odd. You are definitely still consistently being a little odd tonight.
I look at the rest of the party and I'm like, we all have phrases and
I
we
was
will let you
gonna
know.
ask. Yeah, can I know yours so that I can understand, like, what sort of things, like, is this supposed to be something that I say frequently so that you know that it's me all the time, or is this like a secret kind of like what's yours?
I would lean in a little and clear my throat and say it softly because I don't want other people in the bar in wherever we are and say my lover Mallow.
Oh my god.
I am incredibly uncomfortable right now.
She's just gonna, like, look. I mean, can we go back to the bar, I guess? Look to, whoever's to her left. She looks at Kara, I guess, and just like,
What is yours?
and I don't actually know Kara's off the top of my head. So
In
I
her
guess-
ear. In her
In her-
jar.
in
Oh,
her ear.
Einherjar.
Einherjar.
If it's Einherjar,
Yeah.
then okay, gotcha.
We
would
spelled
say
it
that.
right. We just didn't know what it
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So she would, I
But
guess.
that's part of the test, right?
Yeah. So she would, I guess, take and look at you next, Mace, and be like,
I guess if you guys are sharing, I should know all of them. What's yours?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, do you want me to actually go with it, or like, are we just saying we'll tell her?
That's up to Mace. I mean, this is a kind of a character thing, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell her. Mine's spend or break. So.
Okay. Mallow, you even willing to share? Because I feel like probably not.
Dick is hard.
Dick is. Wait, what?
I regret
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, I do too.
Looks over at you, Leif, and just like,
Can you tell me that yours is not something sexual, please?
Uh, something with fish.
So he does not remember his passcode. This is a really shitty system.
No, he does.
No,
what?
no, that's it. That's how we know it's him.
Oh. Oh, you know what? I like that a lot. You win. You're a winner. I like yours.
I just nod. I just give a big nod.
All right. I guess
Let's reconvene in the morning.
hold on. I'm thinking of a passcode at least for you guys, so you know it's me in the morning and all that. But
She's like tapping her chin, and she's just like,
um,
I'm trying to think of something that would be kind of good fitting character for her. I guess she'll tell you.
Hairy throat.
Knowledge is power.
Um,
No, I promise it wasn't my dad.
Jesus Christ, Harrison.
Oh God, please no.
Wrong hole.
Gonna be a lot of editing in the stream. the upload.
mine is
Please, no, not there.
I will overcome my past. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Is that spelled with the C-O-M-E or C-U-M-E?
I hate you. I absolutely despise you. My father was a fairly nice person, except for the accident.
We may need these passcodes when we travel north.
Is this to do with the killer that's after you all?
Yes.
I turn to her and change my entire being to look exactly like her,
Oh no.
and just
So-
respond with, "Yes."
Are you doing it in her
own
voice?
In-
Yeah.
Oh
the
fuck
same-
yeah. Yes.
So at that point, like, you pop up and
Oh, fuck me. God, he can be me. They can be me. Oh, that's okay. That actually makes sense now. All right. Well, you know
I
what?
turned
Thanks
in-
for at least making that come full circle.
I turned into everyone at the table.
oh god. Well, I'm not doing all the portraits, but yeah, now that will slowly change. But yeah, or at least change one at a time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, and I'm just showing her. It's like I can be, and
Why
I'm just
is
like
there
saying
such a
this as I'm
sickening,
changing.
wet, and crunching noise of like your bones? That sounds unnatural. What is wrong with you?
It
Everything.
is largely unnatural, and yes, he's right on that. But it's not all his fault, so there's that.
I also just make it so that my fingers work backwards.
I hate everything. I hate everything.
she like looks away at that point. Just. But yeah, someone did ask if you can head to morning. I guess are you guys pretty good about moving on at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, I would say Kara will basically say to you guys, well, I see the sun rising-ish. It looks a little brighter out. I'm going to head to the Mysterium. You guys can, I guess, tag along if you want, or head and get supplies. Your call.
I'll
But
go
I'm gonna
with.
go to the
she will
Mysterium.
stand up. I will just navigate us to that map next. Hold on a sec. Make sure. Yep. Car. Anyone who wants to go to the Mysterium, please place yourself in here. However, I am about to do Gemini, and I do not have enough water. I will be back.
I'll do the same.
Yeah, everyone take 5 or 10.
I forget. Do we use money to buy shit from him? Or I thought it was something weird.
Oh, we got tattoos on our hands.
No. Yeah, we had tattoos initially because we got one item, and if we didn't spend it, then we had the tattoo of it. You can trade in magical item to get another magical item
Yeah.
or a different one.
Oh, okay.
So how do you guys feel about this? You think we're gonna make it?
About what exactly? The Mysterium, or?
No, to the waterfall.
I mean, regardless of how we get there, I think it's going to be a bit weird, especially since we are currently on the run from Oral, right? But on that, the only thing that we really have to worry about is exhaustion. And once we're there, I imagine we'll at least be able to set up camp a little more safely, considering that the only way to get there is with the codicil.
I mean, I'm assuming that's how she's tracking us, but I don't know. And then, eh, like I don't know if we get outside the range of the blizzard,
I don't think so.
if we're still get tracked, right? If we're still followed.
I mean, I don't know if it's the codicil that allows her to track us. I don't necessarily think so, because if it was the case, she wouldn't stop only because we are in the 10 towns. I think it's more a matter of she can allow herself to just hunt us continuously without exactly being too aggressive about it, because it's a matter of time until we just find ourselves in a bad situation. So I mean, and like I've said before, she can just keep making more soldiers with the ice and snow. So it's not like she's running out of troops. So yeah, I mean, it is sort of like a matter a war of attrition. We just need to end her before she wears us out.
So we just bring lots of wood and just light everything on fire around us so that everything
Yeah.
melts.
And I think that's essentially the magical version of what we're about to get, or we're trying to get, right? Whatever this sun object is.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, I am back.
Welcome back.
We got everybody.
I think so.
I think Claw might not be back.
He's
No,
here.
I heard him. Didn't
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was Fred.
How could you?
Well,
Yikes.
you
What
weren't,
insult.
speaking directly into my ear.
I
Sadly.
trusted you.
I trusted you.
Again.
I? Oh gosh. Okay. So, yeah, you guys would walk into the Mysterium. Kara would kind of be in the lead. She would, if anything, approach the two and just, I have something to trade and questions, I guess. Most of us have questions, I guess. But otherwise would kind of just walk up to Marino, and would start fishing around in her bag of holding. Anyone else want to approach anything different?
So remind me how the shop works again. Because like the first time we came here, we didn't exactly have something to trade, right?
Correct. Yes. Anyone want to fill in Mace? I will absolutely let you roll a history check for that, if you want for yourself, but I will otherwise let another person answer you, and we'll see what you get.
I'm just gonna start rolling.
Okay.
We had gotten one item from somewhere. I don't remember. We could trade it
you
in.
don't remember either. Okay.
I don't remember where we got our initial item from.
Okay. There is a thing there. Both of you roll history checks for me then.
But we could trade in the item for a different item, or at that point you can get a tattoo, and the tattoo was currency to use in a shop.
And I don't remember if I have one or not.
I don't.
I told you
I know
guys to make custom items.
I
if you
previously
did.
had it. Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna guess I
we'll
don't. Then.
do. Yeah. Chance doesn't quite remember either. He just remembers everything Pluzak was telling you about the trading in the items. Give me a history check. Oh, you got it, Fred. Okay, I just saw it. So Pluzak, you would remember the initial item. You heard tell, because I don't know that Pluzak did this, because I think you already had items from Leif. You can remind me if you remember this. I think Ravnus did it, not Pluzak. But you at least heard tell from the other party members that the first time that you all came into this shop, it was offered one item for free. It would be a random item in exchange for a handshake.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The handshake. Where he took our souls.
I mean, if that was the case, I don't think I would still be able to move. But okay, fair enough. So
So
I guess
Before
My
you go too
first
far,
observation point would be, what is Carrot's rating?
yeah, that's what I was about to say. So before you go too far, you would all watch, and let me actually navigate to Kara's sheet so I can do this change now, because I was waiting to make sure it actually happened. Kara would pull a trident out of her bag of holding. I think most of you would remember. She got it while you guys were at the Earl's Island, the Island of Solitude, or Solstice. Solstice, yeah. It was one of the things I believe you found in one of the ships. And so she would basically trade that to Marino. You would hear them, I guess, chatting, not super loud. So anyone that's kind of focused on talking to Gemini will not necessarily hear what they're saying, but you would see Kara turn her spear over, and then Marino would also point to the doorway over on the left, and Kara would nod and kind of just saunter past Gemini and then over into that door, and Marino would follow in tow and just kind of look over at Gemini and basically say,
Yeah, boss, she asked for a change. I'm just gonna go do that quick.
and Gemini just kind of nods as he looks back to whatever conversation he's going to be having with you guys. So Kara and Marino will just be in the back for a moment.
Marino's been smoking.
It's funny because that was the exact same comment that you guys made the first time that this Marino voice was used as well. So
Yeah.
it is technically the same voice. It's just in different registries. But yeah, like
Or maybe they're
Yeah.
growing up. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I mean, I might not actually be able to hit as high as I used to on him, to be honest. But regardless.
Maybe you're growing up too.
Yeah, no. Age and alcohol hitting me in the throat.
Fair enough.
Um,
You go on.
Okay. Gemini. Gemini. Gemini.
He just turns and kind of stares at you.
Were you the Hex's dad?
So he begins to laugh. I will try and do it. I don't know if it'll come through the mic, but it's very guttural. You watch his chest kind of heave almost unnaturally, but very much he resettles his gaze on you and just says,
No, no, sir, that is not even remotely the case. What the hex is more, I guess you could say, a tribute. Tribute to my truest of essences. But, what he wants is something he can get from me. So, let's say he made a deal. Same kind of deal you all made. So that's why you're participating in my game.
Is it
I
one
don't
giant
suppose
Mysterium?
we're going to get a straight answer, but what do you stand to gain from all of it?
Enjoyment. That's all I ever stand to gain. I like watching what you come up with, and I like seeing who's going to come out on top. Everyone has their price,
and he just kind of generally waves to the store.
and it is far too easy for me to provide.
Okay. So your mask has nothing to do with their masks.
So I know what he would do. Yeah, fair enough. Pluzak, I need either.
Do it.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm just trying to decide. I just gotta figure out what the best.
My armor class is 17.
It's not an attack. It's gonna be a saving throw from you.
His charisma
I'm
is negative
trying to
8,
figure
negative
out
8.
what makes the most sense. So realistically, you need to do 2 saving throws. You have a saving throw to look away, and then there's a wisdom saving throw is just going to be what it is, I think, on the second one. So the second you probably have a good chance, but I'm going to call it a.
Dexterity?
Well, yeah. So I was thinking like an either
Or perception.
acrobatics or athletics check, just as a like, how quick can you look away?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't think it matters for you though. Is the difference?
Nope.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
So roll that. We'll see how lucky you get. How much? Because this will set essentially the second DC. So Okay.
Yep.
So you're still staring, not staring, but you're still looking at Gemini. You've been polite and looking at the person you're talking to. And in this case, it kind of bites you in the ass a little. So do give me a wisdom saving throw. Oh, fantastic. Okay. So essentially, Gemini would just start to shift his mask, and he would show you what's behind it. So everyone else in the room would see the mask kind of turn towards them, but doesn't quite show his face, quote unquote face. For you, you would simply just start staring into a void, and just messaging. There's no real face beneath. If anything, as soon as you start looking at what is revealed, you recognize the fact that the slight bit of black skin at his wrists, the little bit at the neck, the way that you see his head seems kind of just this darkness, almost as if there's just nothingness there. It just continues on to a flat head, and there's just a deep sense of dread within you. And I just need to roll something.
Mallow starts to get hard watching Pluzak struggle and in pain. Obviously.
So, you will take. It's a total of 58, but we're gonna have it because you got definitely good on the wisdom saving throw.
Jesus.
Psychic
Getting
damage.
nuked by fucking
Just by nature of you are looking at something beyond
your comprehension.
basically your own comprehension. So I will call
29.
it 29. Yeah, 29 psychic. Basically a lance of just sheer terror strikes through you. Your mind struggles to comprehend what this thing could possibly be. It is just this dread of some sort of eldritch terror before you. I would say with your, with who Pluzak is and what he has studied and how he exists, basically your cleric side, you would recognize this thing does not register like a god. It is something far more menacing and far more primordial are the terms that kind of come to mind. So, got that going for you. And then he replaces the mask, and he just basically would tell you, "Guess you understand now. It's more for your safety than for anything."
Who's like just foaming at the mouth, like what's going on?
He would also, at this point, offer up, "If you
How does
want to
the-
know about the hex, I can actually facilitate that as well. Just let me know."
I shudder to ask, but what would you ask in exchange for this information?
Oh no, it's owed to you if anything. I wouldn't be the one giving it to you either. He kind of looks over towards the room that Kara and Marino walked into, and he's like, I need my partner to come back, but yeah, just let me. We can facilitate some answers for you, at least more so than that one can give you. And he just kind of points towards Mallow.
All right, fair enough.
And the shattered frame.
Well, all the hex period, I guess, is the.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm-
How about
I'm
this? I will.
More concerned about our immediate damage, our immediate threat, which would be the next town.
So he's actually just going to kind of point a thumb towards the door, and just kind of, you would watch as almost robotically a familiar form walks out. It will stumble over to the counter and just rest with a vacant look on his face, and he says, "So we got some fixing to do, but he can answer your questions. That's what I'm getting at." And then for any of you that don't recognize who it
That's
is,
Fetid Curse.
I know you know, Brett.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I get the feeling he's looking out to a room of blank stares. Would that be incorrect?
That would be accurate, yeah.
Yeah, he would just be like, "Yeah, okay," and just takes the mask out of his pocket, and then would try and place it on the guy's face and recognize the form of Fetid
Takes
Curse,
it in, takes it out, just like, huh?
yeah, basically. But no, he actually will leave it on the face in this instance. But he's the guy's still just standing there, not really doing much. And then he looks back and he goes,
So how about in the meantime, I offer you what I can for some guidance on Well, honestly, it seems like y'all are kind of lost. I thought I sent you the rules, but this idiot over here definitely didn't understand them. I know that his father does. I just need to know, do you all understand them? I want this game to be fair.
Uh,
Luzak takes out his journal, gets his pencil ready to write down the rules that Gemini is going to tell him.
Okay.
I'm sure I probably wrote them down somewhere 37 pages ago.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do the same.
Okay. Okay. I will relink them in Discord. I'm just going to see if I can get it to do it the easy way instead of having to retype it. So, Pluzak, in the meantime, do you have any questions about what happened to you?
Don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to. That's what happened to me.
Okay.
Is Pluzak retarded?
Trauma is real.
I would tell the rest of the party that Mallow should look behind the mask of Gemini.
Could I
like
copy
you.
it if I saw it?
Sorry, say that one more time for me, Fred.
I would tell the whole group that Mallow should look behind the mask of Gemini.
Ah, I see. See if it looks like his father.
Yes.
That's the excuse, I guess.
Would I be able to copy it if I see it?
Do
Assuming
you
survive.
think this is what the Hex's daddy looks like?
Ma'ams, y'all need to calm down.
Mallow, you looking behind the mask?
Did you answer my question?
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said if I see it, can I copy his face?
Um,
Not really a face.
I would tell you if you are considering as Mallow right now to try and copy Gemini, you don't. Your body almost shudders and refuses. You don't believe you would be able to reproduce his form. You believe you'd be able to reproduce what would be like a human who looks like Gemini. You would probably be able to create like a really dark skin, and you could always, make a mask. But realistically, what's beneath would look like just a random human face, kind of similar to the illusion that he was using when you guys first saw him.
Well, considering the fact that I hear Pluzak saying it, I don't do it because I don't trust him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not going to work.
So,
Can
girls,
I...
chill.
Okay, well,
Hold on a sec, I'm trying to see if I can...
I've got two matters then to think about. The first one here being,
Oops.
I'm going to rearrange my equipment and essentially put all the valuable stuff. I should actually get rid of a bunch of this shit because
Let's see if
it's
this
not there
works.
anymore.
Am I the only one that doesn't get a bunch of stuff?
We'll see.
What do you mean doesn't get a bunch of stuff? I
There's
don't get a bunch
potential
of
things
stuff.
coming up.
I'm going to try and make a deal with Gemini.
Okay, one sec.
And what I would be
He
offering.
loves making deals.
He finds it entertaining. So I'm going to offer all of the shardlane I have on me, as well as my potion of radiant resistance, and essentially since I'm rearranging all my inventory, most of my stuff is actually gonna fit in my pack because I'm not carrying anything that's too large. Oh, I'm gonna throw in the Durgar scale mail there because I don't really need it. And it's not well, scale mail is kind of worth something, but
So-
it's not monetary value that we deal with here. Point being,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do here is trade all of that like minute, relatively valuable stuff together, and throw in there the bag of holding. And what I'm looking for in return is one of two things: either either a spellguard shield or a dancing weapon.
All right. So Gemini would probably just explain to you outright any of the items that are worth monetary value but are not magical in any nature are not really of any interest to him. He can make anything by his own whim. I mean, he literally would say that off the top of his head, like just offhand.
Right.
He would tell you he's more than willing to take the bag of holding if you truly wish to trade that in. You'd be able to trade it in for any other, what is it, uncommon, wondrous? Yeah, uncommon,
Okay.
wondrous. Or, if you have, I think you said, though, that you have a potion you would trade.
Yeah, the potion of radiant resistance.
Is that also uncommon?
I believe it is also uncommon. Let me double check.
So, maybe between the two, and then...
Yeah, it's uncommon.
Let me see. You said which shield?
I gotta use the restroom. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Yep.
It was a spellguard shield, I think. That's very rare. I don't think we would be able to make meet ends in there. I'll double
He would
check.
tell you though that you can also always, much to what Pluzak, what was mentioned, I think when Pluzak was giving you the rundown, you can just trade those things in and then have stacked it. And theoretically,
Yeah,
at some
take
point,
store
if
credit,
you
basically.
find an item, or if someone else is willing to trade an item, you can keep adding up or trying to add up. I do think, is the dancing sword also the same rarity?
I think it's very rare too, yeah.
Yeah, so at some point, maybe you'll be able to trade up to it, or depending on items that you find in this city, maybe something will happen. I mean, realistically, this conversation, I would say keep talking to Gemini currently. This conversation could very much lead to, a much closer relationship, quote unquote, in the future that might make it easier to trade
Yeah,
up if
that's
you find
fine.
other
You know,
stuff.
I'm
So,
not opposed to bartering with him. That's fine.
yeah.
But I would also like to have a conversation because I know we're eventually gonna veer off into like the whole
Yeah.
hex thing.
So
before
that's
we
fine.
do that,
Before we go too far, are you going to be trading in the bag of holding?
I think I'm going to abstain right now. I think we are bound to find something that's tradable within the runes that we're going to anyways.
Okay. So
So
you
for now, no.
are you still doing what you said about taking most of the gear out of it? You're searching through it. You're like still reassigning equipment, or are you just cutting that?
Yeah, probably. I'd be like, looking for something to like trying to sort of like, two and two together and like see if I can make something happen, but sort of like slowly realizing that right now I'm just coming up short.
Okay, but so you have been kind of reaching into the bag and like shifting stuff to your body.
Yeah.
Okay, so at one point while you're doing that, I need to tell you, because this is the first time I've actually heard you mention searching through your bag. Oddly enough, while you're looking for one thing, so I think you have some crossbow bolts, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
You actually end up pulling out a pack of 10 crossbow bolts that are not the ones that you meant to grab. These ones they look different but familiar, as they have several stones around the outside and markings that would define them to be array bolts. And there is a little owl feather that is just kind of bundled together with them.
Oh.
You would definitely recognize, it's arrays. There's something in there.
Right.
I will have you. Well, I guess at this point, you're in the Mysterium. You can either try and find someone to identify them later, or maybe you could ask Gemini or Marino, or you
Yeah,
could
sure,
just
yeah. I mean,
could just try them and
if they
see what
can
happens.
just tell me outright, because I mean, it's better than my guesswork with my, poor studentship and whatnot.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Gemini.
So yeah, I mean, I'll ask him too.
Yeah, he'd see him in your hand, I guess, as you're kind of looking up to him, and he just
Hmm.
if you need an answer on that, just wait what. And as he's talking, Kara would actually emerge from the closet or the section over there with Marino. She would actually immediately kind of grab at one of her weapons, seeing Fetid there. Um, but seeing that he is not moving and staring into space and no one else is really responding, she kind of relaxes and is like, "What's happening?" But otherwise, you would all notice that her armor seems, if anything, made of just slightly more like well put together materials. The leather that was there before is slightly like oddly colored and seems much tougher despite being almost thinner and lighter. And the chainmail and things that kind of line the gaps, it actually almost seems to shimmer with a more silver light glow. But otherwise, she just walks back over to next to you, Mace. She kind of puts a hand on your shoulder as she walks by, and then over to the counter where Marino is going to be waiting. And she will receive her spear back at that point as well.
Would I sense anything different about her?
Kara
Or
herself,
like, just
not so much.
attitude or anything?
Kara seems maybe a little more confident. I don't know that Chris would hide from you what happened if you truly think Mace would ask. But I don't
No,
know.
not
That's
really.
Mace's
Not so
choice.
much in a suspicious type of way, but
Uh-huh.
more so like, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, of course, she's getting like these upgrades and she's getting closer to her former glory, I suppose. But I'm trying to figure out whether or not this is something that is either emboldening her or just sort of adding more pressure on the pile.
Interesting. You would think, just by knowing Kara pretty well, I'm going to give it to you free. I think you would think it's kind of emboldening her, but maybe that's a question that is better asked at some point at a fireside during a long rest or something.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so as they walk out and Kara's like receiving these things back, I would say Gemini kind of looks over to Marino and is like, "Ah, finally! Okay, got a lot for you, Marino. You finished here? You good? You and the Valkyrie girl are all set?" And Marino just kind of nods and is like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he first kind of points over to Fetid and he's like, "You're gonna need to fix that one. We got questions for him, I think. And then also, this is probably faster." And he like kind of points over at you, Mace. "What are these
Yeah, and I'll
things?
just-
Because you're better at the whole effect thing. I'm better at the whole reproduction thing." And Marino just kind of nods and would reach out and just kind of lightly tap the bolts. Kara actually looks kind of surprised, but sees the feather and I would assume nods and smiles. And Marino would just kind of would grin and then kind of cackle a little in their own way of,
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Otherworlders. I don't know if this was foresight or pure happy accident, but that issue you were having with the ice methods?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these are tiny hut bolts. These are tiny hut in them.
Wow. Well, that is kind of great for us.
Walking
I
it is,
suppose
Fluzak
I-
says.
Yeah, walking it in.
So, to fill you in on some back end, she gave you those items, back when you said goodbye to CN.
Yeah.
That actually solved the oral problem that I had intended, so I was like biting my nails because I figured I was just waiting on Mace to say he was going through his bag, and then I would have done that whole same clarification, and that's when
Right,
you would have
yeah.
found him. So
Well,
it took
it's a good
it took
thing
you
I
up
did it
until
now.
now, thankfully, because then I at least got to make the threat happen. But yeah, theoretically, CN solved that problem for you
Oh,
before
that's
it even happened.
great.
It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's cute because we had that little moment back then.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming in clutch. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll thank both of them, but also I'm just gonna get a little sort of closer to Gemini, and sort of not exactly being like hush hush about it, but I guess semi attempting to. I would ask him in a sort of like lower registry. All right, so I understand that you have a greater view of everything that's really going on around us, and as much as I dislike to admit my limitations in a lot of those regards, I need answers. So I come here to ask mainly what kind of relationship you have with my brother, as I just take out Chan's.
Okay, so
And mind you, I don't recall precisely if I've asked this specifically before.
you have not. At
No,
least-
not this, but the following thing.
Gotcha.
I'd like you to enlighten me, since we're in a sharing mood, as to our nature. Because, I mean, Chance and I are linked, that much is evident. And, well, he's changing. I'm on the path of change. And, realistically speaking, we don't really know too much about our origins, other than a stroke of genius happened and a deal was struck, and now we're here. So, seeing as you seem to have taken an interest on him, and you have a very particular set of things up in your view, I'd like to know where we lie in that.
Gemini nods slowly. Well, it's always interesting when the pieces come together. You and your brother. Let's just say I've known about you for a long, long time, far before you were created. And what were the terms you used? A miracle and an oath? And he kind of points to himself and then Marino as he says those two terms.
Great.
Your father was a very, very smart man. Very good at assembling pieces. The problem is, not all pieces are available to mortals like him. Let's just say that, well, you know that we're merchants for more than just the normal. There's plenty of which in your brother and yourself that was maybe provided by our humble merchantry here. A mercantile, I should say. Humble mercantile here. And, yeah, the rest was definitely him, though. Your father was a very, very smart man. Took his risks well accounted for.
And I don't want to assume, but what kind of strings are attached exactly?
Oh, none that you aren't already paying for. I mean, in all honesty, all I ever offered was more. He didn't really seem to want to take it. He offered, he took the offer of that, the giant girl. But, yeah, she's pretty interesting in and of herself. Probably the only person to put any challenge towards me in quite a long time. Might have learned her lesson. But, it was at least interesting while it lasted. So, you're aligning yourself with those that are, well, I like them. I don't mind losing you there.
I understand. And, well, maybe in another life.
Oh, it doesn't matter
But-
much. Your brother and I have a perfectly fine relationship in place. And Chance kind of like, not necessarily trembles, but like takes a little like, you know, almost like a huff of a sigh,
Mhm.
like, you know. But at that point, considering it's out in the open, he just kind of tells you like, I mean, you remember I kind of did that whole deal with the god thing a while back before you did. It's just I didn't realize it was him, but I guess it. But yeah.
Right. Well, I have faint notion of the kind of being I'm speaking to, so I can only hope that
So
you're treating him well.
at that point, Gemini is kind of looks between the two of you And he's like, "Wait, you it's not me. I mean, I have a relation. We have a line. And then Gemini actually looks over at Marino. Even Chance seems surprised. In your mind.
Oh. Well, forgive me for assuming.
Remember,
then again,
the
you're
oath you
mostly the
swore.
one that calls the shots around here.
Oh, well, that just might be because I tend to be a little bit more capable of interacting. I mean, you all have seen what happens when Marino touches people, right? And Marino's like,
Boss, that was the other place.
"Oh, right. Ignore that comment."
I'm going to, and probably not want to find out.
You technically
Alright.
already have, but don't worry about it.
I'll take your word for it.
But
But
yes.
all right. I guess these days I'm trying to be a little more upfront with those things, and I just wanted to make sure that he is not in any position that might get him in a bad situation.
Now, honestly, if it was me, then yeah, you'd probably have something to worry about because I'm more one for making aims, but Marino just likes to help.
Right. Well, as I turn to Marino, please take good care of my brother.
Well, I'll do what I think is fun. See, that's kind of the whole thing for both of us. It's just, oftentimes, I think it's more interesting to see you guys, have some chance. I liked your name choice because of that.
Thank you. And I think he liked it as well.
I hope we all die.
If you do you say that out loud
Stares at
as
yeah, it stares at Pluzak.
both Gemini and Marino look over at you and are like, "We can facilitate."
We can facilitate.
But as I sort of
Coffin.
pick up
A
my
coffin
stuff,
appears next to you, by the way.
oh yeah,
I just hop in and go to sleep.
Not only do you go to sleep, the coffin disappears. Mallow just pops out of existence for a while.
gone.
Mallow is now dead, just for now.
But as I sort of pick up my stuff,
All of a sudden, Mallow falls from the ceiling right back into the same place.
I've been falling for 30 minutes.
Oh god.
Yeah, I guess towards the Fetid hex, and I'd say so.
Well, hold on. Questions for him? Give me a sec. And, like, just kind of double wraps the desk next to him with his left hand. And Marino would just point essentially a finger gun and shoot a tiny little starlight into the Fetid Curse's mask, at which point it would kind of glow and flow back into his body. And he would, like, kind of take a sudden gasp of a deep breath and would reach for weapons that he realizes are not there. His sheaths are empty and everything. He sees you on the room.
Bitch.
Yeah, he hears you say that, Mallow, and he goes to cast a spell at you. As his first reaction, and he seems unable to. And
Sucks
he
to suck,
suddenly
bitch.
just panics. Gemini would look over at him, and once he sees Gemini again, he just starts shaking like a leaf. Basically, he kind of is muttering to himself something to the effect of like,
Even father could never. Please no more.
but otherwise he seems conscious again. Gemini would, I guess, turn back to you, Mace, and just say, "I mean, have at it. It's, I guess, technically not identical, not quite, probably the same. I kind of crushed the last one. You saw that, but should be able to answer everything you need."
Mallow just walks over and stabs him in the leg. Does this hurt?
I mean, I guess technically you would still have to roll against whatever his base AC is. Give me a sec to pull that back up. I should still have it, but give me a roll on the dagger or whatever you're stabbing with.
That is a nat 20.
Yeah, so you most certainly will stab him in the leg. Oh god. So yeah, 12 piercing damage.
Non-lethal, of course.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think that's going to be enough to kill him outright right now.
Profuse bleeding is not going
But
to kill
it
him
definitely it definitely like strikes
Oh, and
heavy.
I leave it in there.
Jesus.
with my
yeah.
hand on it so I can wiggle.
All right. Gemini kind of looks over at you. You feel like he is entertained. Marino kind of does a bit of a facepalm, and I guess Kara would definitely hear it. Pluzak, you'd hear it from where you are, and I think your perception is good enough. And Leif, you'd probably hear it. You're close enough, I think, and not being distracted by other things. Marino, under their breath, is just like, I'm going to have to fix that later. But otherwise, please talk away. He's kind of screaming. Well, actually, not even really screaming. If anything, thinking back, for Fetid, the dagger digging into his leg actually probably gives him some level of focus. So he would grit his teeth, at the pain, just piercing through him, and otherwise glare up at you. His mask is still covering his face, so you can't quite see what he's.
Oh, I
looks like
ripped
per
that
se,
off
but-
and handed to fucking. No, he didn't have his mask. It got taken by Gemini.
Gemini put it back
Yeah,
on.
no, he put it like on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh. I take it off and hand it to him. You might want to destroy this.
Hand it to Gemini.
Yeah.
Okay. Gemini would take it back from you, I guess, and just put it on the counter next to him for now, and would just say,
Well, in all honesty, that kind of depends on how things go here. So, we'll see. We'll see. And I'd probably still give you guys the honor.
and he kind of glances over his shoulder at Kara, who just does a very slow nod and is like, yes, if I have the chance, I very much would like us to do it. That vindictive nature Kara's got. But yeah, otherwise, Fetid kind of focuses up, glares at you guys, and he's like,
Fine. I get the game. What am I supposed to say? What do you want?
As much as I'd like to return the favor for getting in my head, we have more important things than you, so. What exactly is the Hexus game here? I mean, of course he wants to, get over the whole death thing, and he needs Kara to do it. But why'd he deploy you? I mean, it's not like you're out here for conquest, and you're not exactly hunting us precisely, so.
yeah. So at this point, he kind of looks quizzically at you and just,
What do you... It's not my father's game. He's just trying to win.
and then he looks over at Gemini. And I'm assuming you'd look over too, and if you do, Gemini would just kind of be like filing his gloved hands against
Filing his glove,
the jacket, and he's like,
Oh yeah, the whole thing about these.
and he snaps his fingers, and then in the message board, the rules should pop up for you guys, and those basically are floating in the air next to him, and he basically reminds you,
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, back in the day,
Yeah.
I gave you the rules. Gave everyone the rules. I guess I can clarify now. I kind of wanted to see what would happen for a while the vagueness was there, but at this point, you probably deserve pretty good answers. Just let you do what you're going to do, see how it comes out.
so I guess
Chris would probably
to
be the one
clarify,
asking questions.
yeah, usually he is for you guys. So
Oh,
to clarify,
I mean-
Fetid would say, if you want the truth, kind of glaring at Gemini, making sure that he's not about to get meatballed again,
I will say father has some intention by which he believes this one can grant him the same immortality the girl has.
and Gemini just kind of shrugs his shoulders,
I've had words with him. He knows what I can do.
and Fetid continues,
So he wishes an immortal body. Once he gains that,
and he kind of gulps because he realizes he's about to give away his father's plan, but he's far more afraid of Gemini at this very moment.
he plans to hopefully kill Aurel in your place and steal her divine spark somehow. He wants to become a god, as he deserves to be.
I twist the knife.
He grunts,
Childhood, huh? You remember? Dad always hurt worse.
I place another dagger next into the same wound and twist both of them.
Daddy.
he
like
just
Dad's
seems
dagger
to
was
have
bigger.
already grown pretty ready for you, and he doesn't really groan as much But he does grit his teeth. Like you can tell, he's definitely in more pain. But he's trying not to give you the satisfaction. He spent years of this under your father. If anything, he actually sees what you're doing and goes, "Of course, this is why Dad always favored you. Your violence was so potent, and goddamn, if you didn't have your stupid death key of yours, oh God, how much I envied, how much I wanted to kill you for it."
You might want to save that memory for posterity, Mallow. I don't think it's going to compliment you again.
See, Mallow did have a loving family.
Sure. If that's what you want to call us.
Right. Well, that's his plan. What's he doing to achieve it?
Everything that he is allowed to do?
And that's when Gemini kind of is like,
Yes, well, for the clarification part. So, if all of you equally die a singular time, sorry, that's my term for it, you can fall to the ground and get back up as you all do. But, to one of the hex, that is the same as a pawn falling. Now, I understand you all have your other goals, you're all in here for this one.
he like looks over at Kara like almost in a respectful nature. He's like,
You're gonna get to do that. But, there's a counter for everybody. And just as this one has fallen once, his counter's gone. You get rid of the others, their counters are gone. Once that's done, the king becomes vulnerable. Now, till the king's vulnerable, let's just say he's got the same rules as this one over here, your king.
once again, kind of thumbs over to Kara.
He can come back as long as he's got some semblance of, piece of flesh and some level of healing. And, yeah, you want to end him? You're going to have to go through everybody first, just like they're going to have to go through all you. Then she loses her power.
And Kara actually raises her eyebrows at that one. And he's like,
What? We had to make it equal.
All right. Well, that complicates things.
Yeah, to be fair, it's only to the hex, and in relation to the hex, everything else should be good. You don't got to worry about that as much. I mean, you got to survive still, but that's up to you all.
Okay. How about this? I don't think we know, out of character, of course. I don't think we know exactly what the other hex children are like, right? We know vague ideas, I believe, but none of their actual skill sets. So, do you guys want to ask what they are, or are we just wasting time here?
I don't feel like that makes sense.
yeah, I think Kara would even vote as well to some degree to ask. Learn as much as you guys can from Fetid. I won't have her step in for questions unless I think you miss something important. But let you guys ask first.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll just ask. Okay, what are your other siblings capable of doing? What makes them unique as an adversary?
Okay. He's gonna answer you, but I need a minuto.
I guess a good question too would be dying. Like, is it full blown dying, or is it like getting down to death saves?
I will tell you, it is death saves. If you reach death saves, because of the nature of the hex, almost every single one of them has the capacity to just kind of insta-kill you guys when you're down. Not necessarily insta-kill you, but like they'd be able to kill you. There's just like you kind of would anything else. By nature of, I don't want it to affect the campaign, of course. It's more just if they down you, you guys can revive, but that person is off the list. So
we've all gone off the list at this point.
you have not died to any of the hex. It's specific to the hex, is what I was saying.
We've
Yeah.
died to
So-
the Frostmaiden, not
right.
to the Hex.
Anytime you're engaging with hex subplot at this point, it's like a self-contained little side quest thing.
Yeah, that's why it's
yeah.
separated from the rest of the map. It's
Yes,
Outside of the
exactly.
area. Okay.
So if one of the hex children at this point, when you are fighting them, kills one of you, I will have a little note that basically says that person's off the board. You are still a usable fighter, but like they don't have to focus on you. They will be aware of that. It's part of the rules for them. I mean, Gemini
Oh, so
basically
that-
informed you guys of this.
That actually might be useful, though.
Exactly, because now we can have Kara face tank
So
and be cool.
you could try and have Kara
Exactly.
face tank. I mean, you can always kind of do that. But keep in mind that their goal essentially is to make her vulnerable, so they might not necessarily pay as much attention to that. I would note to you how often was Kara attacked herself in the fight with Fetid, right?
Not at all, really.
So there's a degree to which they have their own orders of operation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll see how things go about when things happen with the other two that are left technically that you are at least aware are on the board. I would tell you there's kind of gray area with Serena, unless you guys want to ask about that. And the only way, of course, to make the Hex vulnerable himself, otherwise he has the same Kara powers, is to have killed all of his children at least once. Now, keep
Right,
in
yeah.
mind, if you do know all the stuff about the hex and how their masks work, and so there's some potential that depending on how things happen, they could come back
Right, yes. Makes sense.
so for example, at this point, Gemini would say to you, like Fetid as a pawn is out. He would also then, I guess, because I do want to go into this
Mostly
as a
because I
character.
think he broke the rules, right? Or
Well, breaking the rules is why he just kind of got removed. He had no opportunity to run at that point. If those rules had been broken when Fetid was at full health, the same thing would have happened, realistically.
right.
It's just by nature of when he got pushed to having that occur.
Hmm.
Give me one sec.
Right. That's what you meant by only pieces on the board may be involved.
Exactly. Yep.
Yes. And we have a very special situation where the queen, our most powerful piece, is unable to be taken.
Sorry, say that one more time.
Just commenting
On
on
it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm just still looking for the right spot in my notes. And was still sending that text. Okay, so you asked him to describe the abilities of the family, of course, and
Claw, are you gonna write this down, or do you want me to?
I mean, I'm going to do it anyways, but if you'd like
Okay.
to be my guest.
so I guess he would ask you. Well, I guess what do you even want to know? You already know our stupid little bitch of a sister. So what? You want
I
answers on
punched
her?
the wound in his leg.
Interesting. Okay, so he kind of flinches pretty heavy, but again doesn't give you the satisfaction, or tries not to give you the satisfaction of a scream. And he's like,
What? You you like your sis a little more than you should?
I take one of my what is it? The darts and stab his left testicle with it.
Just the left one.
Interesting.
Yep, just the left one.
So how are you doing that? Swinging up into the body, or are you trying to stab directly towards it?
I'm. Say that again.
How are you trying to do so? Are you swinging as if underhanded, trying to stab up in towards the body, or are you trying to do a direct stab forward towards it, as if the dart was being thrown towards his junk?
Oh, okay. I'd probably find it and pin it to his leg.
So, I guess as you're searching to find it, you're looking with the back of your hand.
Oh no, I'd just take his pants off. I have no shame
So
in this.
as you go to yank his pants down, I guess theoretically, for the fraction of a second, since you do this pretty quick, his pants do come down. You see he's kind of like a Ken doll down there. There's really nothing going on right now, but at that point, the pants do kind of magically come back up, they pull past your fingers, and Gemini is like,
Listen here, I'm willing to let you work out the whole family anger issue, but it'll not happen in further than it should here. All right, buddy. You stab him in the leg. That's cool. We're gonna limit it about normal bodily harm, not pushing weird boundaries. Not really
Can
entertaining for me, if I had to be honest.
Okay, can I take the dart and puncture the orbital socket to come out of the left side of the temple?
What?
I mean,
Shouldn't cause
theoretically,
brain
I guess
damage.
I can't stop you from trying. I will tell you at some point, if the violence gets too much for Fetid to be able to answer, which I think that might grow to be too much because that's pretty heavily violent. Gemini will once again stop you only because his intention, as he would tell you, I guess, is, listen here, I want him to be able to answer. I don't want you to be, like, breaking him, and yes, physical pain is going to at some point make it difficult. So, that's enough for now. He's being a good boy, and you're not. Don't make me kick you out of our store.
Put the dart back in my pocket.
That's fine. Enjoy your daggers.
So you were saying?
So I was asking, do you even care about what she, I guess, is capable of? Or do you already know? Should I even tell you, do I need to tell you who our siblings are? What do you even know?
List them off and explain their abilities in order, or whatever order you want. How about this? Do it from wimpiest to strongest.
I mean, we already know. We don't need to know about Leif's girlfriend.
Well, I would argue yes, because the rules say that until all of the Hex's children have been killed by our hand, and she wasn't, the Hex is not going to be vulnerable. So, unfortunately, as I turn to Leif, we might have to kill your girlfriend at least once.
She comes back, right?
No.
We can. That's not not happening.
Not without that mask.
Well,
Well,
we
she just
can-
has to get to death saving throws.
There you go. See.
And
Well, so how do your characters know that though? So like,
I mean, I equate saving throws, quote unquote, as losing consciousness.
sure. So we'll just say you use that term instead. I just want to make sure that the in-game characters are
Getting
talking to
knocked
the right
out.
effect.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
We just have to knock her out.
Well,
at this point.
knocked out implies like her health has to reach 0, so like her life has to be threatened.
Incapacitated.
So
Yeah, sure.
at that point, Gemini would actually kind of,
Well, I guess if we're being truly honest, it's more the whole, I guess,
what's the term I'm looking for?
it's more about the air of the game. So, I just want you to have, I guess, proven that you can defeat them. I don't mind, I guess, if you got some sort of self-prerogative going on. Just, if they could have died by your hand, fuck it, I'll call it.
Great. Even better. Maybe we don't even have to enact physical violence against the person whom, you know.
rightfully deserves it.
How about
So we
this?
just have to show up and be near them then.
Yeah. So he
'Cause
goes.
they could have.
So he says this. He goes,
How about this?
and at this point he will walk over to Kara. Well, actually, no, it doesn't make sense. I want to make it someone that can actually note this down. He walks over to you, Fluzak.
Oh,
Yes.
And since you've been writing in
Gemini
your journal,
does?
Yep.
Okay. I am
Who's like
going
peace a little?
to put my
Ready?
head back into my shell.
So as you do
Still got a
that,
whole body, boy.
we'll say that like you can see or like you can kind of hear and sense. He gets close to you. Your journal is kind of still in your hands, and you just feel that it gets kind of. It's almost as if he shuffles 1 or 2 pages. You would know he's going towards a direction that has blank pages, and then he kind of just snaps. And he then turns and walks away from you back to his original position.
Slowly peek out of
Mhm.
my shell.
Yeah, so Gemini's definitely not near you anymore. The rest of the party, they're just, I guess, looking at you to some degree. Kara's like mouthing, "Are you okay?"
No.
But eventually, I guess, I'm assuming you would look down at the notebook.
Yes.
So he's kind of left the pages like on your thumb so that you still had the spot where you were writing. But on the page that you see, you would just kind of see a list. So you have as you already know, the Hex of the Final Breath is written there. You have Hex of the Shattered Frame. You have Hex of the Fetid Curse.
Hold on. Final
Yeah,
breath.
you're good.
Shattered brain. Shattered
Frame.
frame.
F-R, yeah, F-R-A-M-E, yeah.
Curse.
He just didn't learn
obviously.
to hang his portrait properly.
Yep. And you have, actually tell me when you're ready. I should wait for that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Hex of the Stalking Death. Or Hex of Stalking Death, either or.
That's gonna be my BFF.
So,
Okay.
you would know that Fetid essentially has a line through it.
Yep.
And there's like room below each of them for you to take notes, I guess, as you need, just so that there's some level of like, he didn't just fuck your journal up. And I don't want to do this. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Fetid himself would continue and basically tell you. Let's see how much detail I want to give. Well, he would tell you stalking death, and every time that he refers to these people, he does not use a name. So you would all remember, at least Mala would most certainly remember, and Leif would know for sure, that his sister went by the name Serena, right? In this instance, Fetid seems to only use
The titles.
yes. Even when he refers to Mallow, he simply calls him failure. He
Damn.
doesn't really use his name. So it's more they seem to have a lot of this very at the top end for them. The titles are their names essentially. That they become them. You would very much get that feeling from how he talks. But he would tell you, Serena is considered just as much a failure as Mallow. Except for some reason, their father.
Well, she actually achieved something before she failed, so.
Well, I guess I'll do it as character. He would, because that way you can give quips. But he'd be like,
She is weak. She is dumb. I don't know why Father uses her. We always considered her to be the biggest failure until this one decided to abscond.
and I guess you would have said that out loud, or.
Yeah, no, I would have said, well, I mean, the way he's putting it is, you got a point, but granted, she's the only one currently not underneath your dad's thumb. Does he have thumbs?
That will be rectified in time. And yes, he can have as many thumbs as he'd like.
Right.
He would tell you as well.
Listen, the woman, she can barely keep her thoughts together. Better off just being told what to do. She was... Well, she could be a bit of a rager, you could say. But, well, I guess that's nowhere near as much as Shattered. But then again, for him, there's more enjoyment in it. Let's see. She could hide better than the rest of us. Needed to after a while. Oh, what the target practice we could do with her looked like. I guess I think I did give her some benefit of learning how to resist my fetid curses. Not like that mattered much in the field.
Okay.
He would go to tell you.
If you are going to see Shattered, well, let's just say good luck. I don't think there's a single one of us siblings that have ever bested him in single combat. You have numbers on your side, but, well, let's just say it's gonna be a battle of attrition, most likely. I wish I could see it. I wish I could see you all crushed.
Well, we did see you crushed, so
He shivers
I guess it's only
as he
fair.
realizes what you're saying. he just actually kind of like glares at you, but doesn't actually say much in return.
Um. So yeah, Battle of Attrition. You were saying.
It's as it sounds. He will be able to kill you. It's just a matter of how many of you he'll get through. It doesn't matter. I'm sure he'll be fine. None of us are going to die. He kind
Kind
of
of
he
fighter,
kind
is he?
of like has a shit-eating
Again.
grin on his face as he says that.
I mean, didn't you already die when he literally dematerialized you underneath nothingness?
Did I though, Mallow? Don't you remember? I'm pretty sure Dad put you in your mask for a while once. It might not be pleasant, but I'm still standing here today.
Um,
I mean,
Gemini
sure.
also is back to doing the thing where he's brushing his like non-existent nails against his suit. Like he does a like there's a fake wind sound as he's like blowing towards them. Like, but he doesn't say anything currently.
so, so Pluzak would just go, hey, dead guy, um, the important things we would need to know would be probably strengths, weaknesses, things to watch out for, things to potentially do. That's the information we're looking for, right? We already know your strength, spell casting, charming, right? Is your weakness, you're not good.
Being squashed. You're garbage.
You're a failure.
I mean, that's all in the eyes of the beholder, bitch.
It's in the eyes of the hex. Who else's eyes would matter?
An actual god's, not one who's trying to be.
I like that idea a lot, Claw. He's just like grown those. They're just like black acrylic nails on his white gloves.
Oh, hold on. I've got a better one.
But he, I guess, would tell you, Pluzak, or I guess he would look at Gemini, and Gemini would say, "All right,
There you go.
I guess I will have him tell you, limit this." And then, like, you would see him kind of jolt as Gemini, like, just glares at him. But you can kind of tell something has changed in his mind, or like he seems to acknowledge something, and he kind of tells you,
It's as it sounds. Shattered frame will leave you with nothing but a broken corpse. Our sister, stalking death, she will come for you, eventually. Our brother, final breath, well, take a guess. Each of them carry skill sets that help achieve those goals. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
So what you're saying is shattered frame, big mace, big blunt
Bi-
weapon.
Big, well, big something.
The Punisher. You got the Punisher? Is this the Punisher, dude?
He will punish you, yes.
Kara actually would look at him and be like, "Do you mean big like me, like I got in our fight when I beat the shit out of you?" And he would just kind of glare at her, and I'll let his silence say as much as anything.
And I final breath. We talking
Probably
poison.
asphyxiation.
We
Gas.
talking.
No
what-
gas. It's not required. Not for him. He'll either do it with his hands or by other, more special means.
Bless you.
In your combat against these guys, what worked for you?
During our training, we did not necessarily give it our all. So I will tell you, I only ever fought them physically, not with my magic, and not to the death. So nothing.
Lame.
least I have some capacity to use our father's skills. Weakling. Failure. You could have had everything. You could have been
I'm
the
waiting
one.
for you to say something of relevance that I care about. Let me know when you're done babbling.
I'll just shut up at that point and glare at you and just anything else to the rest of the party.
So, stalking death. Other than getting the jump on us, is there anything particularly interesting about his fighting style?
Her.
Hers. So
Hers.
sister.
Yeah.
Talking Death is the one we.
Yeah, you've already
Sure.
fought her technically, so
The one that Leif fucked.
Right, yeah, okay. I forget that was her,
yeah.
her moniker.
And he would basically
So-
say,
Mhm.
I've never actually fought her. Well, I guess short the one time that we had just a one-on-one duel and she could do jack shit. But I will admit, we never found her when it came to stealth drills. Not that we did those more than once or twice. Father just wished to know how well we could. Well, he wished to find our ranking. Mallow was still too young to partake. Not that he would have succeeded.
Okay. Two questions. On the personal side, anyways. First one being, how is it that your father intends to kill Oral?
I do not deign to know his full plans. I am simply one of his tools. One of his most trusted. But just a tool nonetheless. I will do as he deems
That's right.
necessary to achieve his goals, but only know what I am deemed necessary to know.
Good, good, good. And since you're answering honestly, if Mallow were to have succeeded in becoming one of you properly and gain the moniker, what would it have been?
That would have been up to him. We all figure out our aptitudes, and then we design our own ways of killing. Father always let us be quite free once we became one with the fold.
All right. Suppose that makes sense. Anyone else got something?
I don't think so.
No, it's not really giving me the information I want.
Out of curiosity.
so if Pluzak says that out loud, Gemini would actually look over and be like, "Apologies there. I do want to at least, preserve some level of surprise. You'll figure it out."
How long has the hex been around?
Been around?
Well, yes. I guess, better yet, how long has the hex been his current self?
I guess Fetid would say,
I know not my father's age. I am the oldest child, and I am in my late 30s, though I don't know my birthday. My father, well, let's just say he had a tendency to leave children behind when he was taking the place of someone necessary for an assassination. And, building the rumors on his own was always difficult enough. He believed after a while, once he had the money and resources, some of the children were worth more, I guess you could say, fostering instead of
Festering.
leaving behind. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we have everything we need as it is. Oh, well, actually, here's something. I'm assuming your dad is not sitting on his hands right now. What's he currently up to, seeing as you are all kind of spread around the board?
He is at home, trying to train more whispers, because honestly, many of them are already out here with us. At least all the ones he could recall. At some point, he said he will come and help. And, of course, he has methods by which we will be returned to our estate if necessary. If you truly manage to somehow get through all of us in time, well, then he will be fortified at home. So you will not be able to reach him. He will still
And where
achieve
would
his
that be?
goals, and we will kill you.
"Where would that be?" you said.
Yes.
He just looks over and at Mallow and says,
Oh, he knows.
and I will tell you that Mallow could always lead you back to the estate, but it's out of the Icewind Dale. We will deal with that at the end of the campaign. If you guys truly are going there, it will be. We'll find a quick way to teleport you there or something, then we'll
Okay.
figure it out. I actually think there is an answer to how you could get there fast, but I don't want to be too early on it. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm out of questions personally, unless
Okay.
anyone else has something. Good.
Anybody got anything?
I don't.
No, I think the
I don't.
rules were explained. We know the pieces. We know the death. We know outside bounds. We know can't kill other people. We know a little bit about each guy.
Awesome.
Now we have
Um,
the means to sleep.
That is true. Although that was from a different source.
Yep, that was. I mean, it was there before.
Yeah.
We just found them.
So if that's
Kluzek
the
does
case,
check his bags to see if anything is in his bags
sadly, no.
after.
You didn't get
Yeah.
any gifts?
No gifts.
Your complimentary gift bag?
No,
No, that was
nothing cool enough.
that was the only. It was only the person that stopped in at Cien, sadly, the helper. All right. So with that being said, Gemini, I guess, would just look at y'all and just say, well, actually, I guess let me double check on this, Mace. You did you turn in the potion for a token or no?
Yeah, sure. I don't think I need the potion anytime soon.
Okay, so you can
yeah.
just remove that from your inventory and just make a custom item for yourself. Uncommon, wondrous Gemini token.
Okay, sure.
And yeah, if you want to trade that in for an item of that type at some point, whenever you see Gemini in the future, potentially,
Yep.
he would at that point kind of say to you all,
I mean, clearly jig's up with the two of us. So I will tell you, I guess we'll pop in if we really think that it's worth your while in the future, but do not rely on us. If you're thinking that we're going to be here to give you potions or things when you need no, that's not part of the game. But if it seems like you got a whole bunch of unnecessary crap at some point that, could be turned into stuff that could make things interesting, well, we might stop by. So just be ready for that, I guess.
We appreciate the warning. At the very least, it should set our expectations straight.
okay, very cool. All right. Yeah, so I guess it really just depends on how things go, whether or not you see Gemini and Marino again in the future. So yeah, at that point, I guess I would just double check. No one wants to do any more magic item stuff.
I don't have any magic items really, so
Yeah, that might
All my
change.
stuff
We'll
is
see.
being
See how
used.
things go.
You don't have magical items?
all the ones that I have are needed.
Oh, to trade in. Okay.
Yeah, I only have the
He
three.
doesn't have extra ones. Yeah.
The only other quote unquote extra one that I had got given to Mace, and he ate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to be fair, that was chance. Yeah.
Chance.
Yeah, and also I didn't, make it happen exactly. It's just sort of, he got hungry, okay? He had the munchies.
Yeah.
But
He's drooling while looking at the compartment that holds the the codicil, and you just hear echoing in like very silently in the back of your head, like
No, not allowed, not allowed.
Sprays him with oil, just.
Ah, too cold, too cold.
But no. Yeah. Okay. So at that point, Gemini, I guess, will just see you all off as
All right, well, best of luck to you. We'll see how things go. And I guess if you're headed north, good luck with Shattered Frame. Oh, actually, you know what? To that point,
and he actually turns back towards Fetid at this point, and he will snap his fingers casually, and you would kind of hear crunching and the same sort of wet, fleshy sounds as you heard the night before. And Fetid's form starts to shrink as he is once again screaming in pain. He is left kind of swimming in his clothes, and his face looks about somewhere between like 12 and 14, something about that effect. And he looks out at the rest of the party, stops at that point with another snap of his fingers, and he says,
all right, so we have two options due to the whole needing to, make sure we have a good punishment in play. You guys, I guess, technically did defeat him. We're gonna count it as the notebook shows. He kind of like nods his head toward Fluzak. However, I do not want to rob you of any capacity to, have some semblance of fun here. And he kind of looks at you, Mallow, especially considering the daggers, which at this point would have magically, I guess, been removed from his leg to let him change form. And he'll just be like, so, I can either take and leave him in this form, send him back to his father, and see how much he can train back into him before you guys next meet. See if he can't, prove some entertainment for you in the future, let you try and actually take him out yourself. Or I can just snap him out of existence and, let him keep regressing until he's nothing. And, like, Fetid is just horrified right now. He turns and tries to start running, but he's just, like, running in place. He just kind of, Gemini just casually looks out over the party and is like, so how about it? Vengeance?
I say we just
Or
let
let
him
him
kill
go?
This is your family, not mine. So
Kill him.
honestly, I thought you might want to just, put him in a jar like a little meatball and shake him when you want.
Give him a hug.
Can I keep him?
He did compliment.
Can I keep him as like liquid in a jar?
You could take and I'll put the mask on him and we'll pop him back in the mask and you can then take and keep that with you and flaunt it around and if you talk at it, I don't know, he might hear you got the same key as your father, you might be able to figure something out.
He could also get resurrected at any point if.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, the
Sure.
safest
Fast
option
enough.
is just get rid of him, but,
So kill him. Can you make it as slow and painful as possible, though?
I mean, I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing, just reduce him down until he's nothing.
Perfect. Just slower, so it's more painful.
Okay, so is that the general consensus? Just get rid of him?
I'm washing my hands here.
Yeah.
I think Kara probably would be like, yeah, just get rid of him. One less hex to worry about, right? So, all right. So I think general group consensus, right? At that point, Gemini would snap his fingers, and once again, he would try and turn and like run at Gemini now, just to do something, anything. But his feet just have no traction at all on the floor, and eventually he just keeps shrinking down, turns into kind of like just a mass of goo and cells on the floor, and then disappears into nothing. And there's not even a spot on the floor left. And we will remove Fetid Curse. So you guys know that is no longer a threat for you. Yeah, at that point, Gemini just kind of dusts his hands off. All right. See you later, I guess. Good luck with everything.
I'll thank him and, be on my way, because what I've witnessed here, if I was organic, would probably hit a lot different.
I like that. Very true. Okay, so Mace is good. Mace leaves. Kara probably
Yeah.
goes with him. Everyone's good.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Just thinking about if Gemini is not the one that's like in charge and it's Marino, and seeing what I saw with Gemini, I'm just like, yikes.
Interesting. So, that's just Pluzak's notion that Marino is in charge now?
Well, Marino's the one that has to deal with Chance, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So, yeah, I'm thinking that Marino, I mean, the one that makes the deals, the guy in charge, is Bluzak's thought.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool. Alrighty. So yeah, with that, we will move you guys back to the East Haven map. Actually, we'll back to the main map here. So you leave. We're gonna say we'll say it's late enough, I guess, at this point. It's definitely at least 4 p.m. So you could take another long rest now if you wanted. Do you want to try and wait a little longer? I guess till what, 9 or 10? So you wake up in the morning on a more normal day cycle, or do you guys not care?
Yeah, I think we, for the sake of what's her face, Valine.
Valine?
Valine.
Yeah. You're doing a mallow, huh?
Yeah.
No. That's yeah. So I think a more normal hour would be better for that.
Alrighty, alrighty. So, I guess in the interim hours, I can offer. You guys were talking about potentially getting supplies. Um, how would you go about doing that, or do you even think you would at this point? Were you waiting till the next day?
Yeah, I mean, I think waiting is for the best, especially considering that most of the worst stuff usually comes at night. And we don't have to deal with dark vision.
Okay. So you'll just wait until the morning, and then you'll get supplies, and then head off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So,
Uh,
I will posit this to you then. At this point, guys, we will say that you do your long rest, proper long rest till call it. What time do you guys want to wake up? You know what? You're resting at town. It's your choice. 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 4 a.m. What works?
Yeah, I
um,
think 8 is good. Unless we want to wake up earlier to like make headway early on.
well, yeah. I think if we leave
We still
town
have to go
before
shopping. Don't we?
our
Or you could do it in later towns. Your call. However
I
you
thought
guys
we
do
were
it.
gonna do it in the furthest north town, Car Carcronic,
Kirkconnell, yeah.
Carconic.
It's a weird one, man.
Um, yeah. I any like I mean obviously if we need food we need food, right? But if we anything else I think we get in the next town before we leave.
Everyone else agree with him?
Yeah, I think that's the best course of action.
Alrighty. So, you wake up the next day, you get Valine, you get ready to set off at about 8 a.m., whatever. I will ask you guys now, the path you plan to travel is just to go up through Cardinival and Caerconnig then? Or did you want to try and do some level of avoidance? I wasn't sure what you settled on.
No, I think that's the path we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll face the shattered the
Shattered frame?
shattered dame,
Gotcha. Alright, so,
the shattered dame.
if that's the case, I guess I'll ask you guys now. Do you want to try and approach Caradinavel and see how that goes without Chris here? We can start getting
Yeah.
into it, and then just if there's going to be something major, stop once we get there, or do you want to just wait here at the end of the long rest and kind of call it at that point? Because I don't want to go too much farther without Chris. I think
Can we travel
travel there.
the road there,
Yep.
but like not go into town? I guess?
Absolutely,
Not
Yeah, let's get the previews.
absolutely.
Ooh,
I'm okay with
little recon.
skipping the travel. Actually, recon is an interesting idea. I'd let you guys try and do that if you want. Your call. But yes, so we will go to Caradinavel. Or at least you guys will find yourselves there after some travel. Let me do some calculating. It should be on this tab. Where is my Caradinavel tab? There it is. So normally it takes about 9 hours to get to Caradinavel from East Haven. We're going to say because of the blizzard, of course, that's going to make things take a little bit longer. We're going to say it's probably closer to like 15 or 16, not a full true double, because you guys are still walking pretty well regulated paths. Other people do travel them and things like that. But yeah, so 8 a.m. So about like 11 p.m., maybe 10 p.m., somewhere around there when you reach the outer reaches of Cardinavel. So that it is nighttime. It would be plenty dark. And let me switch you here. So when you guys kind of arrive on the outskirts, I'm not going to say you go into town yet, but you can see from a distance pretty much all of the buildings that were here. They were already destroyed by the dragon. You knew that from the last time you came through here. But it seems that in the interim, since a lot of time has passed, with you doing your trek to Xinglong's and a whole bunch of other things since you were last here. You do recognize that, like, at a distance, there is really nothing on the ground that looks like a structure anymore, even like a collapsed house. Like, basically almost everything looks like it's been either picked
Raised.
through or raised, yeah, cleaned up in some way, shape, or form, that basically nothing's really around anymore. Except for, I should say, the castle on the hilltop. You can definitely see this from a distance in terms of, like, there's no structures, but, like, you're still pretty far out. You're not in the town yet. I'll let you decide how you want to approach that, or if you want to, like you said, maybe send someone to scout, figure something out. Valine would, I guess, be able to at least tell you there's been a lot of other towners that have actually made a business of going to the 10 towns where there's been a lot of destruction and, like, taking a lot of the old materials and trying to bundle them up as, like, cheap materials for sale in other 10 towns where there's been rebuilding efforts. So there has been a fair bit of materials coming to East Haven from here, but she's actually kind of surprised by the level of, I guess, efficiency to some degree, by which everything kind of has clearly been torn down. But yeah, so you got that going.
Vultures.
And
Okay.
if we only got one person that could scout this out, potentially. It's not me.
Oh yeah.
Mace is going
Well-
in.
You got this, Mace. We just throw like a bunch of
Oh.
snow on him.
Yeah.
Wrecking ball starts
No.
going.
Leif just pulls out all of his fucking major amounts of rope and starts tying you in as, like, the Michelin Man, or the the fucking.
He's gonna tie a fish to it, just like whisper something in the
You
fish's
can't
ear.
make noise, not through rope. Like, Leif, that makes no sense.
Just every time I pull it off, I'm just like, rope. You just got just 101 purposes. You can do whatever you want with it.
Anything. Rope is God. Rope is the real God. This is in before
Plot
you
twist:
realize
Leif
that
is the one that
is-
actually kills Oral and becomes the god of rope.
Yeah, I was gonna say Leif is actually in the long con to start a new religion of rope god. Yeah. But regardless, yeah. So do you guys want to try and do some scouting, send someone in, and see what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I can send my Echo Avatar in there.
Ah, okay.
Great.
I mean, Mallow is
Good
as
idea.
well, I would say, of course, is always
Yeah, Mallow is
enjoying
also very
stealth.
stealthy.
Yeah. Mal's probably more stealthy than. Oh wow.
That dog is not.
Generally, though, we would do it without the dog, I think.
Yeah.
We'll leave the dog. See, this is why we didn't take dog sleds.
Yeah, there it is.
Come here. Come here. Look at me.
That might be my favorite comment of the night so far.
Thank you.
Well, I can be a stealthy boy and go do things.
Okay. Yeah, let you guys decide how you want to do it.
Probably makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think
It does.
that's the only problem with my my Echo is he's only as stealthy as I am.
Well,
that
the
is
big
kinda true.
thing I think is I can do pass without a trace.
I can do pass with traces. I don't know. if
So
that
we
helps.
get a +10 to our stealth
So,
checks.
I guess if you guys are saying this kind of, your characters are talking about abilities, Kara would, like, look between the two of you and be like, okay, so Mallow, you do pass without trace, and Leif, you send in your Echo Avatar so that if something happens, Mallow can just turn and run since he's faster than you anyway, and then can you just come back?
Well, I thought his echo.
So he has a special
you just-
ability he can do, that he will go unconscious on his normal form, but his avatar can go up to like 1,000 feet away from him or something, right?
Yeah, we did it
okay.
before
Alright.
when we were looking
Yes.
for Yetis.
So, yeah, Kara would, I guess, kind of condone it and be like, yeah, no, that seems safest, because at least that way, I mean, we know Mallow can get away. Especially in this darkness, kind of pointing that out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then
let's do
100%.
Alrighty. So here's what we'll do. Where on this map do you think you would be kind of approaching the town? You can actually put both of your tokens there, I guess. We'll do like a little joke thing there, but I do have another map I'll switch you to in a second.
I guess probably we'd be from the south, coming from east,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right? I mean, but we could have circled around. I guess that's the main road on the west. That's probably where we would have come in.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, unless well, I mean, we did come in for recon, so maybe I'll be honest. Maybe we off the path, like came in here,
Okay.
or yeah,
Okay.
because we knew we were coming to look.
All right. So do me this. Roll me your stealth rolls, guys. Mallow, your pass without trace adds a +10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, give me those stealth rolls.
Ah,
That's okay. You need to do it at a disadvantage technically, Leif, because of your
Roger
armor,
that.
right? So do one more.
There we
Okay,
go,
so you're at a
that's
16,
better.
Leif, because we'll assume your avatar is gonna stick
Excellent.
closer to Mallow, right? So 16 is still pretty damn good. And Mallow's probably gonna be like in the 30s as usual, because he has like advantage.
I forgot disadvantage because of my armor.
First one.
20.
You don't you have advantage from your cloak?
Yeah. 20 and 20.
Oh, Chris would be so happy to see someone else finally double rolling an advantage.
Yeah.
But 20 is still plenty good. Still a good number. So, you guys have some pretty decent DCs while you're wandering around. I will show you, and you kind of all can see this. Let me just check it first. I think this should all be correct. Okay. So, you guys do not necessarily need to place yourselves on this map currently. You just know that if you were heading through town, this is kind of what it would look like. You see a lot of structures that are like the remnants of buildings. The path through town still seems relatively well used, but otherwise there is kind of no housing, no structures, no cover. I guess I would wonder, are you, like I said, you don't necessarily have to place yourselves on the map. I'm not going to do too much. We're just going to do rolls for how you interact with things. But would you be staying kind of off on the sides of these buildings? Like there's nothing really to hide behind, even short of like knee-high walls and things. Are you going to try and stick like around the edges of town? I'm just trying to set the scene for you. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess. With Mallow, obviously he knows more about this than I do, but Leif would try and stick to the outside of it instead of walking through the middle of knee-high buildings, just like trying to be somewhat stealthy looking in, trying to observe everything that he can.
okay. So Mallow, I guess we'll
brought-
say yeah if you're taking the lead.
Well, so here's the thing: is I can run across the buildings fairly effectively, though, or there's remnants. There's not buildings anymore.
Yeah, there's
right?
really just remnants, right? Yeah, both of
knee-high
you could pretty
walls.
much just run straight past if you wanted. It's just a
Well, then
matter
I guess
of
fuck it. I'll just go around the sides of them and watch
Okay, cool.
to see if I can see anything inside of it.
Okay. So give me a perception check. I guess both of you would be doing perception checks. That's totally fine. So both of you give me those rolls. And I guess would you be trying to search the houses? Do you intend to be going just to clear the path? Are you headed towards
I got a nat
the
20.
castle at all? Like what's your intended goal for where you're trying to go? Another nat 20 perception check. Damn, that's 3 in a row. Not necessarily to just you, but I think in the last session you had a nat 20 perception check on the fight with Fetid. Mace had one earlier this session, and then you've had one now. That's nuts. Yeah, so both of you definitely are looking around really good. So I guess, yeah, how are you searching? Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to learn?
I'm gonna be looking around to check if there's any other tracks left, because whatever destroyed this would have destroyed whatever footprints were there. But I want to see if any new ones are there
Mhm.
from
So-
anything left by.
Yeah, so let me just address that quick first. Anything that you're looking for footprint-wise, you would find really just lots of people trudging along the roads. You would definitely see some level of, like, every once in a while some footprints maybe go off to the sides, but most of the time you kind of can tell it's people, like, going off to use the bathroom and things like that over around, like, trees and things. There's really nothing that speaks to you as, like, necessarily people skulking around. You would, however, find every once in a while there are kind of areas in the snow that look almost like, I guess with your perception check, yeah, you would see them and think it looks almost like battle drills with the number of footprints back and forth, and like the way that like two different sets will be facing each other, and like there's like a section that looks like a lot of like wind sprints where run where it's like, kind of very set distance but back and forth footprints. So there's just weird kind of stuff like that. That's up much closer towards the castle though. And I would say that as you kind of approach the castle, you do definitely notice with that perception check. Not you don't have to be too close for this, but just like there are lights in the castle. There's still like in the guard towers and things, and you would think that it seems pretty like maybe there are still people living there. Leif, I would say you pretty much you definitely see the same effect, in terms of like the castle lights, just with the 18 that you have, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there
Well, I
anything
guess
you're starting to look for, Leif? Yeah, sorry, I didn't interrupt.
It's mostly I'm not as good as Mallow as a tracker, but I would be looking for groups of footprints places, so I'd see
Yeah.
the
Okay.
ones
So
down the middle.
I'm gonna say you'd follow him and kind of notice all the same things that he's noticing. He would point out to you the training ground, and I think that you'd find a lot of kind of agreements with what he's kind of pointed out. But yeah, in terms of like footprints and stuff, it just looks like the roads are being well used, and the buildings are pretty kind of abandoned at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I'd also be looking for, I'm not searching every nook and cranny, but like maybe traps or something like that people would have left behind, or whoever would have left behind, to thwart intruders. But I doubt there's really anything in the middle of a destroyed town.
Yeah, sorry, say that one more time. I was taking note of something.
He's looking for
Oh, yeah.
traps.
Traps, yes. You would think, yeah, there's definitely no signs of any sort of traps left on any of these buildings. You would think that, this castle that's up on the hill, just from your knowledge of those sorts of structures, you would believe they probably have some level of, like, defenses up there. I don't know if those count necessarily as traps, but...
Yeah. Okay. I guess Leif would look at Mallow and just be like, to the castle.
I guess so.
Okay.
We have No, we don't have earpieces. I'm dumb. Wrong campaign.
Yeah, wrong campaign. We do.
You guys
we do
have earpieces in the other
Wait a
campaign?
Oh yeah,
What?
absolutely.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, the combination of someone from our world of technology applying magic in a creative way.
That's cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
Talking
you do
stones,
know
pretty
some
much.
sign language from Ravenous.
That is true, potentially. It depends on how much you remember.
I would make hand signals over towards Leif, hoping he remembers anything.
Don't you speak
roll.
about my mother.
Performance roll. I want to see how good you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, to the castle. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
Cool.
just messing with you.
All right. So you guys will head up towards the castle. You're still being plenty stealthy. You would get close enough to be able to tell that there are indeed guards up on the walls. A lot of the lights that you saw are kind of like probably fires that you can see reflecting and glowing within the guard towers, kind of out of the wind. And you do see forms kind of moving up on the walls and then like quickly darting back into the towers for warmth and then coming back out and checking again. You don't necessarily see any of them kind of like doing anything that seems like they're sending anyone towards you, but every once in a while, Mallow, you see at one guard tower, with your 22 perception check, there does seem to be someone who keeps peeking their head out, looking kind of in your direction, and then like kind of going back in and coming back out and like walking a little farther on the wall and looking the same direction, and then going back in. But no guards are called or anything, but there's definitely like people paying attention in your direction.
There's somebody up there. I don't. He hasn't noticed us, but there is someone.
I assume there's a lot of people up there.
Well, there's one in the fucking window, is what I mean.
Well, that makes more sense.
Leif's like staring the other direction. No. 18 perception's good. You follow his gaze pretty easily.
Well, I I guess this is all we can learn without going inside. And I don't think either of us have the ability to do that unseen.
Can I get on top of the castle?
You could. I mean, do you have the ability to walk up walls? You do, right?
I have the ability to walk up walls, plus I could teleport.
Then probably you could find a way up the castle walls. Let me. There is a map for that. I'm trying to remember how tall they are. Un momento. Where is it? Does it say? I thought it said how high the walls were. I don't think I have to throw a number at it. I thought it existed.
I mean, I can run 55 feet, so 110
Yeah.
if I need to dash.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out for you so you know the actual number and like you'd know how much you have on moving on top of it and all that. It looks like they are only 20 feet high.
That's it? Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean 20 feet still pretty tall for like stacked stone walls, right? In terms of just stopping most normal things. So yeah, if you needed to, I would point out Leif probably can't come with you as easily. And at a minimum, if you climb that wall, he's gonna probably be out of your pass without trace, right?
I think it's 30 feet.
Does it?
Well, yeah, but
Will it go around the walls and the corners and stuff? I always forget.
Veil of shadows within 30 feet of me area. Yeah, it just says within 30 feet of you.
It doesn't say anything about sight.
Doesn't. Veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection.
So
Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, excluding you, is plus 10 on bonuses and can't be tracked. Creature, yeah, no.
radiates from you though. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Okay, just good to know. All right. So besides that, then, are you climbing the walls and leaving him behind? I guess.
I mean, I can climb up the walls and then toss a rope down for him to climb.
I'm just saying. Are you doing it without him?
Yeah, for now. I guess we get up and, well,
what benefit we're gonna get from looking in this castle? Though.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna be better if we get everybody.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. We've cleared like the top half of the town. I think we should go back and like just go through the bottom half as well, just to make sure.
Okay.
You can
Alrighty.
even cut along the coast or whatever here to come around.
So yeah, I guess we go back.
So as you're searching the southern half of the town, I would say that you notice a lot of the same stuff. You don't see as many footprints though. It almost seems as if just about everything that's in that southern area and kind of towards the docks was like stripped and then removed, and then no one has gone there since. The rest of the road, clearly people pass through, and it makes kind of a logical sense to you guys because you're like, oh, okay, well, people come walk by the town and go up to the next town or whatever. And the path to the castle, of course, since you saw activity there, you would recognize the fact that like the people that are there must walk down and utilize the roads every once in a while. But yeah, that southern half of the town just seems abandoned, much more so. Like even the roads are not really upkept. But I'd say that's about it. In that case, yeah, you guys can go back to the group. So, how or what would you share?
I mean, I would end up telling them everything that we saw and about the castle, the people inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw people in a castle.
Yeah, the whole town's like no cover, no nothing. It's all knee-high walls and everything. The southern half of the town is untouched and doesn't seem to be getting touched, and that the only sign of life is inside the castle, which would have, for lack of a better term, I guess, like blown our cover if we would have tried to investigate it further.
Are they safe? Are they being held prisoner?
We
Didn't get
see-
that far.
Yeah, we didn't see actual people. We don't know if they're held up in the castle or not.
But did they seem agitated?
We
They
saw a guard inside of a window inside of the castle.
was very watchful.
Okay.
And then before we did anything else, we wanted to come talk because we didn't want to go murder a bunch of people and come back.
For one, look, Mallow's growing.
So I would also not warn you guys, but give you the heads up on, since you guys arrived at the town at like 10 p.m. and you guys were searching around, we'll say, you were gone for, what, 1 or 2 hours, seem fair?
Yeah.
It is like midnight. I don't know if you guys would want to, go, if you're planning to go into the town now, or if you want to do like a long rest first is all. It's just, it is nearing that point of day where you've traveled for like 15, 16 hours plus.
Yeah.
So
My question to the group, or the two that left, would be: did you find any area that would be suitable to long rest in before we check out the castle?
Not really.
Okay.
There
Is
wasn't.
We only
There-
have the castle unless we can somehow scrounge up enough materials to make a makeshift, shelter here, which I doubt because this place is practically being picked clean.
Kara would at least say, I don't know. I mean, we've made through with worse, right? Like, we could build ourselves some snow huts, or I guess, you have those bolts now, Mace. I don't know how much that would help, but they're there. At least with the ice and snow,
Yeah, that much is true.
I think we want to hold on to those to later. There's literally no
Yeah,
building
I'd
that has
love to
enough
save
cover
them
to
until
just.
we depart fully.
We could use one of the buildings if it has a half of a wall, that's 10 feet long, and then build snow to cover, enclose us or something.
Yes, but the only argument that I would make against that is that they are in the castle and would then see a giant snow fort in the middle of town.
There is
Well,
a blizzard.
Did you see
to be fair.
canyons?
We're using a building to have.
But there's
Like-
not a full building. It's all broken down walls.
Yeah, Kara would definitely point out, like, there's a blizzard going. I don't think they're going to notice snow in snow from that distance, but if you want to be careful, I'm always game. I kind of get where Pluzak's coming from.
I mean, we can try. Fuck it. Worst comes to worst, we just fight in the middle of the night.
That's very true.
Okay. Interesting. Alright. So how about this? We should still be on the same map. I guess discuss with yourself, like amongst yourselves, where you want to bed down for this evening.
Not the main path that goes to the north to the next town. So probably to the south, and
Okay.
some building down here.
Yeah, I guess more towards the entrance and are the docks still there? We could probably use some wood from there.
You would find most of the decent wood panels have been kind of scrapped. Like the posts that stick into the ice are of
Right.
course still there. And there's definitely like shitty pieces of wood that are like broken or not. Like basically there's some stuff there. You could definitely scrounge up probably enough for like firewood, or supports, but maybe not so much like to build a shelter purely by itself.
Right, yeah. Okay, well, let's try to utilize whatever we can, snow included, and we're not approaching just.
So we're gonna hang here. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the building you guys will start assembling a structure in. Just give me a group survival check. Let me go to Kara.
Doesn't she have some crazy survival crap?
I didn't mean to double roll. He has like
You
a
got
plus.
21 anyways.
He has a plus 3 or 4 from proficiency bonus, but it's not like it matters much. Yeah, 20. It would be like a 24, I think, total. And
Right.
14 for Pluzak, 7 for Mace, 6 from Mellow, and 10 for Leif. Okay, so un momento. Kara definitely pulling her weight again. And alright, so you definitely have enough between you all to put put together some walls. You don't feel like these would be able to survive much of an encounter with Mephits like before, but while you've definitely heard, like, the blizzards are still blowing, and there's kind of this sense of trauma to the sound of wind, potentially being the beating of ice mephit wings. You haven't necessarily seen anything that is directly threatening you currently. So you kind of build up good enough to get you out of the wind and kind of keep you contained for the night. You do believe with how you put together this structure, if you had a fire going or anything like that, you probably you probably would not be able to hide too well, like hide the light too well in this structure. But it would, work. Like it's a well-contained enough structure. It would heat up, and you'd have the warmth of the fire if you really wanted. But that's ultimately up to you guys.
No fire.
No fire. Okay, so we'll say that the purple is a good, it's a structure. It's a structure for laying down, bedding down for the night.
Nice.
I will say, don't quite hit the long rest yet. We'll do that during next session.
Okay.
Because much to your point, you never know what might happen at night, and I want to leave some level of cliffhanger to see what happens.
Yeah.
Everybody else is good except for me. So
Aliens.
Everyone else is
nobody
good
else.
except for you, and what?
No one else took 30 points of damage because they looked into the base.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Um,
should have had
Tomorrow.
Marino at some point would have healed you. Please give yourself your health back. That was
Don't give
that
it
was
back.
never supposed to be permanent. That was just me missing the beat because I was trying to give you all the information I felt like you needed. But yes, Marino would have, before you left, definitely reached out and given you your health back.
I'm here for the shocking revelations that Marino runs the business.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I
an
think.
interesting,
It doesn't
it's an interesting
necessarily mean-
perspective for what you guys were told. I mean, you could always maybe ask Chance more about what he did. All right.
Yeah.
We'll
I
see.
mean, there'll be moments where we will take the time to like hash out all the unknowns, but
Yep.
I mean, you still have
Absolutely.
to slap Chance's PP for spying on you. I thought
Yeah,
you were
that's
going to
true.
say something in the, I don't know, the card.
well,
For
I
spying
mean,
on
the
him.
way
What do you mean?
I understood it from Gemini is that Chance is currently under contract with some other entity, uh, as well as having a personal relationship with Gemini, but that's another matter.
Interesting. Okay.
And while I don't necessarily relish it,
Mhm.
I think Chance is his own person. He's a big hammer now, so
Wow.
he gets to make his own decisions, and some of those decisions are going to imply making things that I don't like. But I think it's a fair exchange for me swinging his head against everything. So
Leif, is this how you feel about your sword too?
No.
No. Love it.
Are you in charge, Leif? Are you the man?
No.
You wearing the pants?
I mean, do I ever really wear pants?
Yeah. In before, Leif has actually been wearing a kilt this whole time, just so straight access whenever needed.
We just didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, no one ever asked.
they're
Just so that
really
he can
shorts.
get one of his F's done.
Even the plate armor that he wears is just like a plate kilt.
It's like a loincloth, but it's just a single plate in the front.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, that's honestly why I can't stealth that well, because I'm always going, oh,
Yeah, it's just clanking together below.
It's so cold. It's so
Oh, oh god.
why did I put leather on the back of this? Or rope.
Yeah,
Um,
there you go.
Oh.
You just wear a kilt made of rope.
That's how he actually stores all of
macrame
his
underwear.
rope. It's not actually in a bag. It's just wrapped around his legs like fucking tights.
That's why he doesn't like to use his robe, because he has to.
Give up and be
Feel
more
the
cold.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mace appreciates that more now, huh?
Yes, I do.
Oh god. Okay. But yeah, we will be calling it there for tonight. A lot more RP than anything, but hopefully you guys learned a lot.
Oh no, yeah, it was good.
So we'll see how things progress from here. But yeah, hopefully you had a good time.
Yes. I'm
No, thank-
interested in this whole scenario, and also, I'm curious about the whole. Well, I mean, obviously Gemini has got his own stakes. We, as players, know about the whole Mysterium thing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but considering how he seems to have a vested interest in particular contest, anyways, I'm interested to get to know a little more about the character.
Okay, very fun. Yeah. Well, we'll see how much that potential unveils itself because it kind of depends on what happens going forward.
Mhm.
Gemini will really, like I said, only pop up depending on if it seems like you guys need him more so, or like just need to get rid of stuff more so than him actually
Spice things.
assisting you guys. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. It'll be fun. Thanks for chilling.
Yes.
Always.
Thank you for the session. It was fun.